Hey everyone, just a brand new quick update today for XRP. I hope you're doing fantastic all today. We do have a lot to talk about overall. It's been a heck of a week. So it seems like bear market has started for XRP. If you have been watching my videos, guys, smash that like button because we keep it real on this channel. We're talking exactly what we need to and show what we need to, right? And we don't sugarcoat things. I said if we're going below $2, this is what's going to happen. And, you know, exactly this scenario has happened. And now we're pushing towards lower lows. Notice how over here we have seen 1.86. So it seems like we're retesting this area. So there's two possible scenarios. It pushes up to 187. If you guys don't know what I was talking about, 187 is a resistance level. Or the other possible scenario is the bear market has started, which is like 80% chance right now. This is the 80% chance scenario for XRP. This is why, personally, I'm going to be opening a short in my position. This could go both ways, but since a big whale, we have seen some sell-offs over here. It keeps me worried for XRP. We were kind of, unexpectedly, we were seeing a lot of problems in XRP community. Like we were at the highs of 3.66 and now we're 50% down. And this is what I've been warning you guys will happen. So I'm going to open a trade, a small position. Let's go 1K, and I'm going to short it. Because personally, I think if this goes below 1.7, we're going to be entering a free fall. So I'm going to be taking a profit on 2bit, links in description below. But you can pretty much see that, we can take profit at this one even at 25%. Because XRP is going to go to what? If 1.91 is reached, if you do a long or short, you can actually check over here. If XRP goes down even like 50 to 1.75, which I think is a possible scenario, I think we will further rebound a bit up. So I'm going to open a smaller short. This is literally the most key area, but every time we try to make it better, right? The XRP army has failed, unfortunately. And right now, I am in a stage where I feel like this big whale, which has sold at 2.7, was right all along, that we are entering a bear market. So yes, I will open a short. I will take a profit once it reaches 157. But this could be a further downtrend at this point, guys. So we go over here on 2bit, link description below. We can take a position once we take a profit, once it's 1.83 or once it's like 25%, we can cash out. But we're also going to stop loss if we're like a 2% loss. Because I do expect it goes up. So our stop loss at max, which you should never do, is going to be like a 15% stop loss. So that's pretty bad already, but at least you'll be safe. Like at this point, I'm taking a 10% stop loss, and it does seem like XRP right now is not looking too great. Mostly because we are entering a price point where Bitcoin cannot sustain this level, that we have been wanting it to sustain, 86,000. And I said, if it cannot hold above 95,000, I told you guys what's going to happen. If Bitcoin is not above 95,000, it doesn't push out. This is what I said in my last video. I told you guys it's going to look bad. It's going to be a decline. There could be a huge, smaller rally. But again, it's Christmas. It's the time when people are historically buying the most. And now suddenly we don't have this type of opportunity. It keeps me kind of worried in that sense. Like, where do we go from here? So it really does make you wonder. It's going to be a big question of what, if, and when. Like, what's the next price plan at this point? So yeah. Personally, here's what I think for Bitcoin and all these is that now If you go back to March 2019, we basically are back at those levels, right? So very big problem. Let's check some other XRP price predictions as well. Let's see what other people have said for XRP. XRP price prediction. And do that. And actually build something nice, like with lots of value. Even a short bot. I'm just unsure of keeping this overnight because you never know if the XRP might bounce back like overnight. It could bounce back overnight. I think this one that I have open right now is very short term. That's what I like to see. You know, it's good to see it hovering about 1.5%. I'll take that. I'll take that as a win today, potentially. We go on here and we try to open another trading bot like properly. That's what I want to do. I want to take a proper trading bot that I can build, that I can make, like, for example, I can put $70 and then go lowest price on 2bit. So let me see. It's already stopping. It already gave me my money back. But let's see, the lowest price is 1.87. We can also use an AI strategy over here on 2bit. So want to join me, link in the description. That's the difference between the custom and cookie cutter. Cookie cutter. This is the thing. You have the custom is like making a custom XRP trading bot is like eating really good food, and then adding like this recommended strategy is kind of like eating fast food. Yes, you get full, but ideally you want to make you want to make yourself healthy food long form, understand how the market works. That's why I'm making these trades. That's my plan right now. I'd rather get proper sleep, proper rest, and then see what happens with XRP. I'll keep you guys updated. Much love, Sambusho. Much love, everyone. Smash that like button, guys. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to be live because we're live daily. I was live for 2 hours already. If you want, smash that like button with what it could be, 7x leverage. So at least we built some type of trading bot. We could start with $20 just because it's our one of the first. And we will also have a maximum price and a minimum price, like a trigger. So start immediately, price trigger. Trigger now, price trigger. Maximum price, minimum price. And we can create the strategy now. So you can see the end, the maximum price, and end the minimum price. So as soon, we're going to have a stop loss. As soon as this bot goes over XRP yearly minus 22%, it's pretty bad. But when you look at other meme coins, they are doing much, much worse. So we're going to stop the loss at 1.87. As soon as the price hits 1.7, in my opinion, I think that's over. That's done. So now we can actually check the candlesticks and see what did we buy, what did we make. Did we make a true Frankenstein? Did we make a monster? What's here? You can have here the price range is going to be 1.87 to a range of 2. I think XRP, and again, I got to fix this bot a bit because I don't like that. It actually should be 1.8 to range 2. So that's the first mistake I made. But it's also that it only has one buy order at 187, and then it's going to sell at $2. It needs to be way, way more than that. I want it to be way more active, and that's exactly what I'm going to make with this bot. So we're going to make a masterpiece, guys, on 2bit here. So the lowest price it's going to buy at, it's 1.75, and the highest price it's going to buy at is 2.5. The grid quantity of how many times it will buy will be 50. So if you check other coins, the big issue here is, you have a lot of these projects who never went up at all. So we can actually do margin over here, and we can do many grid trading bot strategies. Profit per grid will be about 1%, but we will have many, many, many of these. Makes total sense. Bam. So let us check on what's happening right now. And we can create this strategy. We can even make 12 of these. And if you have more volume, what you basically have is now a trading bot strategy. Now it's going to make a lot of grids out there. It's going to start buying and selling these during these price ranges. Bam. That's what we're seeing right now. XRP slowly but surely going up. And if it ever hits 165, we'll have a stop loss. So this is what I created. This is our strategy for XRP. If you guys didn't realize, this is going to be the key strategy is, yeah, once it reaches 1.87, it's going to buy XRP. It's going to buy it 185. It's going to buy it 1.82, 18, 170, 175. And then it's also going to be buying at 1.92 or selling at 1.92 and 199 because I don't think personally we're going to see, if you look on the 4-hour chart, I don't personally think we're going to be seeing like 2.65 at all soon. But I could be wrong and my strategy could be dumped hard, right? But everything is showing towards like the markets right now just going sideways, sideways, sideways. So why not take this time and create this Frankenstein, create this beautiful monster that's going to make us some profit, at least hopefully. That's the strategy right now, guys. So it's at 1.88, used to be like that. If it drops below 1.75, 1.65, it doesn't matter because it means we are in a bear market. So yeah, it makes total sense to do it like this, in my honest opinion. Worst case scenario, if the XRP drops, if the XRP goes up, we are kind of screwed. But we do have a stop loss in that way. I will keep you guys more updated on this one as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's see one more. XRP price is set. Game over. Let's see this one. XRP crypto bull trap exposed. Lots of XRP videos today. There's so much news for XRP overall. All XRP holders, 2026 is basically over. 2026 has been brutal for me. Hopefully this trading bot will make me some money again. Not guaranteed, super risky. So don't do what I do on 2bit. But if you want to get started and learn, link in the description below. Let's check this video out. All XRP holders, 2025 is basically over. How is 2026 looking? And if you guys look, I'm in a 7 cents profit. Yippee. Unpaired, right? I'm in a small profit because I opened these trading bots. Again, trading bots are a bit stupid. Why? Because if you know how to trade, you don't need trading bots. Like, trading is the core to learn everything, to learn price analysis.
All right, fellow XRP holders, let's talk about 2025 for XRP. In fact, you can see the chart here. The net number for the last year for XRP is right here on the left, down 15%. Okay. And that really is the story. It was overall not a great year for XRP. I mean, we had some nice highs and lows. You know, we hit low was $1.79 if you're looking to buy any more. And right here per CoinMarketCap, you can see a high hit on what was that July 22nd of $3.55. Pretty dramatic move up and down, but the net was 15% down. And if you also kind of take a look at the overall markets, this is very interesting. So if you look at 2025 performance, and this is comparing everything like...
So silver, gold, Cooper, S&P, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins down. Obviously, retail is gone. Altcoins were destroyed. Very, very worrying. Like, silver and gold is up. I would never expect that. S&P up compared to Ethereum.
Down 12%. 2024,
But then you see like Ethereum being up overall, like on the other markets.
and they did not return in 25. It was institutional demand, institutional dollars that kept crypto really kind of up at least a certain level, right? Beyond that, it was, I mean, XRP and all of crypto continued to get body blows, if you will, kind of thinking of a fight, body blows all year. We had the
Yeah. So we got one huge rally in 2024 and then just downtrend since July, downtrend after downtrend.
beginning of 25, the tariff, the trade wars, and all of the different tariff scenarios played out, and all the fear and uncertainty around that. Us versus China, us versus the world, as far as tariffs went. We had the continued Russia-Ukraine war. I think that's there. We had financial uncertainty around the Bank of Japan. We had a lot of things play out related to the Federal Reserve interest rate. What's going to happen there or not? Are they going to raise the rate, lower the rate, do nothing? All of the oscillation around that. We had government shutdown. That was dramatic. That impacted us, and all of the fallout from that. And we continue to have other things, the pushing of the Genius Clarity Act. Ironically, it was a very good year as it relates to starting to put legislation in place and starting to clear the path for institutional demand and institutions to be able to A, leverage blockchain technology, but B, to be able to start to invest in it, and C, for the the financial powerhouses of the world like Bank of America and Fidelity and so forth, to go out and start to talk about investing in crypto to their clients, right? And that's good news, okay? But overall, again, not a good year. Bitcoin down 6%, Ethereum down 12%, and all major altcoins.
This is very worrying. This is the part that's very worrying. It seems like that we just had bad news after bad news when we were expecting like a huge bull run rally. And yet here we are, right?
Ultimately, I think that is really where I'm going to end on. I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to say, look, I think that 26 is going to be a fantastic year for XRP, for all altcoins, and for all crypto. I think we're going to see Bitcoin go to 150 to 200,000. We're going to see XRP break its all-time high, go north of $4, $5, $6, $7, $8+ or more, right? Okay. And I think ultimately that's really what it comes down to. Is there going to be trials and tribulations in 26? Absolutely. There's going to be issues out there that we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have to face. But I think I'll remind you of this. The world is coming to crypto. From an investment scenario, the world's coming. From leveraging technology like Ripple's XRP technology, the world's coming.
This is true. This is what I like to see. The technology is still there, but the markets, well, they're bearish. You can see the markets 1.15% up on 2bit. Guys, you can join me in the link in the description below right now. So we made all the money back that we lost today from fees, from reversals, from bad trades. We literally open a trading pot, and that's what we do right now. It seems like it will go even further. Patience is key. I might close it out later because I feel like it's going to be at the bottom. But who knows? It could be possible that it goes a bit lower.
If you look at different types of cryptos out there like Chainlink and Ripple,
yeah.
I mean, they solve legitimate, business problems. And there's time and time again where you see companies are going to want to be leveraging blockchain technology. Not to mention, as far as specifically to XRP and Ripple, it's the replacement of the existing archaic banking financial system. And that is not a small feat and a small task. I did a video on this yesterday talking specifically about this. It's a huge opportunity for us as XRP holders. And ultimately, that's where I'm going to end up at. So with that, 26 is looking really, really good in my opinion. If you have if you disagree or what have you, drop in the comments below. Let me hear from you. With that, I'll see you. Have a good one. Take care.
Think of each one of them as DCA and spring. As a spring. Exactly. This is tomorrow. I'm going to build a perfect bot. I want to take my time, build a perfect bot, not start this one like the new thing. These ranges as long as the whales please. We went from 1.8 last night or last few days. We literally went ahead and a huge whale dumped. And he's trading between these ranges and making easy profits on you guys. So just let that sink in. These whales, they're earning it big.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Linux Crypto. I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new morning update on XRP. We're going to do a full update on XRP right here. We'll talk about the current situation. We'll talk about what to expect this week. We'll talk about what to expect today.
So yeah, prices have been the same for XRP in general. They haven't changed at all. Nothing has changed for XRP if you check.
Entering the markets. You can see that has slowly but surely disappeared, and right now the CVD is dropping down. It's not necessarily a bad thing, I'd say, but at least there's no longer the absorption that we had earlier. So spot buyers.
No, like the whales are selling off a big amount. You can't tell me otherwise. It has happened and probably will happen for the future.
Coming in, or at least passive buyers coming in, and the open interest is also back to where we were together with the price, right? So that is momentum is lost, and correlation right now to Bitcoin is also quite high. You cannot see that right here, but this is bugged for sure. So generally, it matters a lot what Bitcoin does, and Bitcoin at this point of time is at a crossroads. When we're talking specifically about XRP right here, or at least, well, specifically not, but generally, look, the key area is at $2. I think it's quite likely that we're going to move into that. And when we're talking about $2, it's a
$2 is the perfect range for XRP actually, but the whales, they keep dumping in big. Look at these sell-offs. The order book is very much so. If you look at the order book, there's people trying to hold it above, but every 10 seconds you got sales of 10K, 30K. You have huge sell-offs.
Broader area. You can see the monthly VWAP, the quarterly value area low, the 30-day rolling VWAP is all in that area between 1.98 and 2.04. So that's my general price target. And I think generally, if you look at the fundamentals. So if you look at equities, if you look at the fundamentals behind Bitcoin, I think it's likely we're going to get there. But then on the other side, we have those imbalances left at 1.86 and 1.84.
So yeah, that's what I was telling you guys. Again, another day, and every time you try to start something, every time you try to start a rally, you get like these huge whales on 2-bit. That's where I'm trading right now, selling a large portion of their supply. They just don't care. They don't mind XRP. They don't care what happens to XRP. All they want is that juicy profit. So remember, these whales, they're here to make money. And if we look at the price charts over here on the 1 hour chart, it does seem like every time we build some momentum, 1.89, 1.93, we are seeing bearish outlooks where the candles are lower and lower. This is what is telling me that XRP is now on a smaller downtrend. That's right. We are seeing a smaller downtrend here. So yeah, it does seem like a downtrend is happening for XRP, at least in my opinion, because it tried to hold above 1.94 and 1.95 and whatever, but it just completely dropped from this rate. So yeah, I'm going to have to short it at this point, and I feel very confident. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's going to be a small short with a stop loss. But it tells you pretty clear here is that the whales, they're the ones that are deciding the market right now. So here, I'm opening a short for that reason.
And I think right now, given the fact that the, specifically talking...
If you guys want to join me, there's a link in the description below. But you guys understand now that I'm going to get liquidated if it goes even 5% down. I'm very confident that this is going to be a short in the long term, like further downtrend, even though we had a huge red candle. At least like building some support is likely here.
For XRP and not about Bitcoin. Although I just said in my Bitcoin video that I felt like it was a little bit more likely that we were going to test those imbalances to the downside first as well. But I think specifically for XRP as well, given the fact that we're losing momentum, we're capping upside here at 50 EMA, I would still say, and I said this yesterday as well, but I still think that's the right call to make here. I think generally you should avoid trading right here, right? Because
this is what I'm worried about. I'm only trading because I'm worried where we're going to go from here. Like, this trades are super risky, but I still feel like we're going between these levels. And right now it's in super middle.
This is very much, especially This area right here, it's just incredibly choppy. And then you want to trade this area or this area. At 1.84, 1.85, we have some strong support, but that's also a respected key level historically, as you can see. And then $2, same thing. We have
and if you check my trades yesterday, I was showing you guys my trades. What we're doing on this channel, we're actually live, you know, doing live trades, if you guys didn't know. So we had like transaction history, and we're trying to go like from $50, $80 on the live trading, the competition that I have linked down below. But you can note here that trading history is actually, we had so much choppy markets. Wherever we tried to close it, we did have some profitable trades, but most of them were red because you couldn't even understand what's happening. Look, 5%, 5%, 5%. But then we managed to open pretty good trades, 12%, 24%, even 24% trade. I miss those days. That was start of December, 24% trade. Again, that's pretty rare to get. So I'm just waiting now. What's going to be the next key scenario? Sometimes you got to wait it out.
Resistance, but it's a respected resistance level historically. But that also means that if we can get some sort of a break above that, it's also going to be a stronger break. So avoid trading in the middle, and I would say it's more likely right here that we're first going to tap the downsides, right? So that we're specifically going to tap at least the upper imbalance that we have left right here. I believe at 1.86, 1.85. Tap that, and then as long as the fundamentals remain relatively strong, which they are right now, I would expect support there. A reclaim above the 7-day rolling VWAP, reclaim above the monthly value area low, and then a move into $2 and 2.02. And look, we're entering holiday season, so getting a sustained break above $2 seems to be a little bit of a fairy tale, but it's not impossible. I mean, if we get a lot of bullish momentum right here on Monday, if we get that spike down, strong reaction, then we still have Tuesday, full day of trading. We have Wednesday, we have a morning of trading.
There is trading happening, but you can't see it. I'm down 1% because these whales, they're doing big trades overall.
So then it is a possibility that we'll break above that. But short term, I'm just going to tell you that I think we're going to move up there. And reclaiming that depends on so many variables and factors at that point of time as well, that's a better matter to be discussed in the future. So those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.
So this is what I'm seeing right now. These whales are going up and down, left and right. They're going different levels, and a lot of YouTubers don't realize what's happening. These whales have the upper hand. Whoever bought for cheap can now sell high, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're taking profit. Every time there's a small pump, look at this. They just dump it. 1.84 to 1.92 and dump it all the way down to 1.8. It makes no sense, right? So whoever did that, like this was maybe panic selling, but they could be repriced. Banks aren't trading it. I mean, it's amazing, but XRP right now still isn't used by the banks for some reason. Camilla Stevenson has been popping up, and I wanted to actually check what's up, because a lot of why are so many whales dumping XRP? As you can see on my 2-bit trades, a lot of the XRP whales want out. They are selling it at $2. They're selling it 2.5. They're even selling it at 1.8. So it makes you consider what's happening with XRP.
That misunderstanding is the real reason so many people feel stuck or impatient right now. Now, before we start, this is not financial advice. This is education and perspective, so you can think more clearly about what you're watching on the charts. And if you like this kind of breakdown that helps you see things more clearly, go ahead and hit that like button, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. I'm curious, do you think about XRP more like a trade or more like a long-term system asset? Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people make in markets is evaluating things with the wrong framework. We do this all the time in life. You wouldn't evaluate a highway the same way you evaluate a coffee shop. You wouldn't judge a...
This is what I like about XRP right now, is obviously a lot of these whales right now, You know, they are hoping for the big future of XRP, and they're planning their future on the RWA, which will take probably 3 to 5 years. And then the next part we have is very simply put on the collaborations with the bank. This is going to be where these whales think the big money is coming from.
Distinction clicks, XRP will continue to feel confusing, not because it doesn't make sense, but because it's being looked at through the wrong lens. Now, once you fix the category, the next thing to understand is how systems define value. Retail tends to think about value in terms of price movement. That's why we're seeing so much frustration. And the frustration continues as the price go down. But I want you to understand how institutions think about value in terms of capability.
So they don't care that much about XRP token. They care more about how can I get our transfers for our clients fast and easy, so they're going to be using our bank app more. That's what they're thinking from Ripple.
They're not asking, can this go up 20% this quarter? What they're asking instead is, can this move value when volume spikes? Can it settle without friction? Can it operate when other rails are stressed? And does it reduce uncertainty or add to it? That is the lens. Large financial systems don't break because an asset gets volatile. They break because money stops moving efficiently. And this includes settlement slowing down, liquidity fragments, counterparty risk starts to increase, and suddenly things that worked fine yesterday don't work at scale today. That's when value gets redefined. Assets that reduce friction becomes more valuable, and assets that introduce delay become liabilities. This is why infrastructure doesn't reprice the same way consumer assets do. It doesn't move because of excitement. It moves because of necessity. And necessity doesn't announce itself. It shows up in how...
Like banks need it. Banks really need XRP. They need Ripple. Otherwise, they wouldn't go to them. They would just try to find another alternative that doesn't offer crypto at all. But it seems like they have no other choice. They're going for Ripple, and they're going today.
Systems are built, tested, and integrated. And might I add, this is also why price is often the last thing to change. Because before price moves, you're actually going to see access being created, rails being tested, legal questions being resolved, and integration happening behind the scenes. It's always behind the scenes, y'all.
So these big partnerships, they potentially take lots and lots of years to work out. The big bank partnerships, I would say they worked at least 7-10 years to work, to build a report, to make those contracts. It's not so easy. And you can see here, a lot of people are complaining XRP is gone. No, it's quietly making trades.
And those changes don't trend on social media, and they don't show up as these big green candles that make you feel excited, but they do matter.
Sometimes these partnerships, they take little time.
More than the headlines, because once a system starts depending on an asset, the question isn't about it being interesting or not. It becomes what happens if this isn't available. And that's when behavior changes. And that's when positioning replaces speculation. And that's also when repricing becomes structural instead of emotional. And honestly, this is where a lot of people are getting frustrated because they're trying to evaluate system level changes with short-term tools. And if you've never studied how markets, liquidity, and infrastructure actually works, this can all feel counterintuitive. It feels slow and it feels disconnected from price, and it feels like you're missing something when in reality, you're just looking at it from the wrong altitude. Now, everything we're talking about, system design, liquidity, certainty, market behavior, this is not the kind of understanding that most people get from headlines or social media. It comes from learning how markets actually function. And that's why I'm constantly telling you to invest in Stock Up University. It's not all about the hype and all the signals. It's about building real market literacy and understanding cycles, reading structure, managing.
This is the most important factor why I started learning trading and actually opening trades on 2Bit for a very simple reason. You know, these whales, they know why XRP is going down and they know when it's going up. They probably even know some of these big trades that are happening behind the scenes. And that's what makes me excited for it.
You can afford to optimize for cost and you can afford inefficiency. But
exactly. They're going in huge. They're going in huge with the banks, and no one has ever done it before. but it requires time and planning.
When stress enters the system, the priority changes. When something has to work, price stops being the deciding factor. The question becomes what works reliably, what removes uncertainty, and what gets the job done without risk of failure. And the moment those questions take over, value gets reassessed immediately, not emotionally or speculatively, but structurally. This is why certain things can be repriced very quickly when the environment changes. And it's not because people suddenly believe in them, but it's because the system needs them. And that's the part people misunderstand when they ask, can XRP really be repriced?
I mean, the reprice is literally what it is for itself. The reprice happens over time. It's not instant.
The answer isn't that it will. The answer is that it can under the right conditions. And here's the most important distinction.
XRP is definitely a financial infrastructure, not a stock, not a speculative asset. It's a different category. So new financial system. I mean, this is very possible. This is what people have been saying for years. If XRP, if it's anyone to do it, it's XRP, because a lot of other cryptos need time to build it up. Could be other cryptos, but they'd be way too late for that.
XRP does not need an emergency to succeed long term. The future is still the future either way, but emergencies are the kind of environments that accelerate repricing, not create value out of thin air. They expose which assets are optional and which ones are necessary. If a system suddenly needs speed, finality, deep liquidity, and legal usability, and there are only a few tools that can provide that, those tools don't stay priced like conveniences. They get repriced based on necessity and not hype. And this is why I'm careful with language here. I'm not talking about predictions. I'm not talking about timelines. I'm not talking about guarantees. I'm talking about eligibility. XRP is eligible to matter when certainty becomes the priority. And once you understand that, the conversation totally changes. And the question is not ringing in your head about, again, why isn't this price?
People are asking me always, why is the price only $1.92? Is literally because Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin is tied to everything. Think of like asking like, why is this car not working? Well, the wheels aren't on. You know, like XRP is the car, Bitcoin is the wheels. If the wheels are off and like they aren't attached to the car, of course the car is gonna be like turning on the gas, but it's not gonna be running.
Price going to the moon, but it's about what happens.
You can very clearly see that's what's happening right now. It's not enough retail, and they're preparing for the retail.
Happens if the system suddenly needs what this asset was built to do. Now, as you understand that, I want to talk about the last mistake that people make with XRP. And this isn't about how they see it, it's how they plan around it. Most people build a game plan based on what they think the asset is. If you think XRP is a trade, your game plan will be buy here, sell there, try to time it, hope you don't.
I mean, that's what the whales are doing, and it's working pretty well. Like they're just buying 1.8 and selling it for 3. Bam, easy profit. They don't care. But a lot of people, I'm guessing, they're holding because they believe in long-term longevity.
With your understanding of the end result. If you don't understand what something is ultimately designed to become, you can't reverse engineer the right strategy. And that's why education matters so much here. Once you understand XRP as a system asset, not a flip, the game plan changes. Now it's not just about selling, it's about optionality. It's about what one asset can eventually enable. Using it as collateral, earning yield, borrowing against it, rotating it into cash flow businesses, diversifying without exiting, creating multiple income streams.
But people are interested in the price now, not later.
And that's why I spend so much time educating around this. Because if you can see the end picture clearly, you can work backwards and build a game plan that actually serves you. But if the end picture is wrong, even disciplined action won't get you where you want to go. This isn't about telling anyone what to do, but it is about helping people understand what they're holding. And when understanding changes.
So yeah, this is the same with Bitcoin. It needed a few years to build up. XRP had 13 years, but it's a pretty case in point on what's happening right now. It's going to take time. It's going to take lots of time for it to build. And I just feel that we're not going to be seeing XRP like explode in like under a year. I don't see that point, like over $4. It just doesn't seem possible to me. So everyone new to the stream, smash that like button if you want to join my XRP trading competition, which we are going to be opening right now. As you can see, XRP is at different times right now. I will keep you guys updated. I'm going to stream tomorrow as well, so subscribe for more. I love you all, and link in the description below if you want to get started trading on 2bit with me. Appreciate you. Peace, everyone. Really appreciate you guys. Would stream for more. Need some rest. We do have another one. XRP liquidity is back. Liquidity is back for the first time since 2020. The federal market is injecting liquidity. In the past, this has often pushed markets into risk-on mode, with stocks and crypto and other risk assets benefiting. So it does seem like that we are hearing at least some good news. Unlike before, we were hearing only bad after bad after bad news.
Here that we're looking at between the business liquidity cycle and XRP and the total cryptocurrency market cap. So let's get right on into it, folks. Liquidity is back for the first time since 2020. The Federal Reserve is injecting liquidity. In the past, this has often pushed markets into risk-on mode, with stocks, crypto, and other risk assets benefiting the most. Right? If you understand what happened last time with XRP, and folks are going to say, this is them buying back short-term T-bills. This isn't liquidity coming to XRP. Not yet. It's that trickle-down effect where that market starts to turn risk on once again.
So yeah, this is the good part I have here right now. Look, this one, 6 billion. Again, this is not a huge position, but them purchasing bills is a positive direction. This is going to be around April to December. 6.8 billion now is not like massive. Didn't China just do 1.9 billion? But they did that into their own markets. They're not going to do that into the US markets itself.
Rolling back stuff that goes back a couple decades here, right? These are big issues that we're trying to unpack. And so this administration has been working, this Congress has been working rather slowly. I would like them to pick up the pace. But with President Trump getting to bring in his Fed pick next year in May, right? Before we even get Trump's Fed pick, we're already getting a Federal Reserve, which is now finally delivering rate cuts. And they're starting to do buybacks, which is the precursor to QE. They're not.
I mean, buybacks are the main thing that's been promised to us to increase the prices. Little buybacks are the big thing. Like, that's what a lot of these XRP traders were saying, hey, this is what's really going to change XRP. The US government buying XRP. And then we heard nothing about it for over a year. 1 year has passed and there was nothing about it that changed.
Not going to come out, and it's not official QE, but it's reserve management. And now we've seen that spike in the repo market. That we haven't had that in 5 years. They've been using the reverse repo facility, but this is the first time since 2020 that we've seen liquidity come back to the repo market. And you know what happened then, right? We'll show you on the chart if you forgot. So we're going to take you right now back to the Purchasing Managers Index. And this is from the Institute of Supply Management. The index here is called the ISM. And I already did one video.
XRP isn't dead, but it is trading sideways. That's the issue I have right now. It needs some sort of a push, because otherwise it's just gonna be an easy pickings for the whales.
January 2016.
Welcome to the stream.
And then we topped out in February of 2018. Well, let's slide over and see what XRP did during that time.
Like, there's nothing indicating XRP would be dead. If XRP would be dead, then it would have no volume. And if you look at the volume here, there's people selling. Look, there's just someone, as I'm speaking, 5 seconds ago, bought $5,000 here on the exchange itself on 2bit. So it kind of gives you a clear idea of what's going on right now. It's just that my trades, it's going sideways because the whales from Korea and USA are making massive bank probably from it. So look at this. It gives you a clear idea. Bam.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to show you here how low. I forgot. I was wondering why my chart was so off. When you take a look here, I mean, we were so low. We were at half a penny.
So you were 60% down. I think this is a pretty good indicator showing you what's actually happening with the markets today. Why the markets are down. that crypto is sometimes like that.
For XRP back in January 2016, you get this big nasty 60% pullback as the bull run was getting started here in 2017. And then I got to zoom out to this chart to show you where we went to right here back in January 2016. You can't even see that. You can't even see this on the XRP chart. Let me get this into frame for you guys over here. You can't even see XRP at half a penny over here. We slide on over, XRP pumps 61,000% up to $3.31.
So yeah, 61,000. I don't think that's going to happen again, but it shows you a pretty clear outline that a lot of these whales are waiting for another big pump. Now the pump now is going to be much, much smaller, but I'm still very, very excited. Even if we get like a 200% pump, even if we get 20% pump, like that would be fine with me. As long as it's a pump that we can understand on and that we can get XRP to do anything at this point.
In January of 2018, 1 month before going back, that ISM peaked out February 2018. So in February 2018, this tops out. When does XRP top out? January 2018. Great. Now we go to 2020 when this thing bottomed out down here at about 41 for the ISM in April of 2020 during the depths of the 2020 end of the world simulation event. And then just 11 months later, about 1 year later.
Again, I want to reiterate, this is the time where we had a lot of retail. Now we don't have a lot of retail. So it kind of worries me that, a lot of these YouTubers are comparing, like Zach Rector, I love him to bits. I love him. But he's comparing a lot of the data, a lot of the graphs that are from before when there was many more basic buyers interested in altcoins. Altcoins are at all-time low.
It's out April 2021. So basically the same exact time.
But when you look at my charts over here, I'm doing on 2-bit myself, you can obviously see the price is going down. I can't even have a positive trade. Like I'm down 30 cents today or whatever. It's not that big of a problem. But it tells you there's a clear issue here that a lot of people don't notice.
That we're topping out here in the ISM up here. Right? And I measured here, this is 11 bars. This is on the monthly chart for the ISM. So you got nearly a 1 year period from the bottom of the ISM to the top. And our economy went way into expansion, way into good times are rolling. Everybody was getting checks. We were printing money. Fed was doing QE. That money printer was going burr like never before. And what did it lead to? It led to another rally for XRP all the way up here to $1.96. And we fell short then, right? But same exact correlation, basically bottoming out at the same time and topping out at.
So it bottomed out in 2020, so 5 years ago. If we look on the graph over here when it bottomed out, so let me pull up this graph, what the trading volume was like on 2020. So this was about 9th of May. So let's go take a look. 9th of May is when it literally bottomed out at a very, very low price point. The volume for 9th of May was about 2.6 billion. The volume we had on the price of the pump was 10 billion. So 5 times more volume to see this type of price pump. So my point is, it's way, way easier to make a pump when the markets are smaller. Because one of the whales can buy. Obviously, we had 20 billion volume here. Had 10 billion, 12 billion. Oh, geez, we even had 5, 7 billion. You can't even look because it was just for 1 day. And then we had 3 billion, say 8 billion. We need to push out for 20 billion volume. Usually volume is a good indicator that the price goes up.
At basically the exact same moment. We go back to the ISM chart. We went into contraction when? October 2022. What happened in November of 2022 to our crypto market? It blew up with FTX. And that's when Bitcoin, XRP, and the broader crypto market went into contraction as well with the rest of the economy. This indicator is spot on. The correlation with the crypto market is incredible. And it eventually bottoms out in June of 2023. Now, because we had the FTX collapse there in November 2022, a lot of the cryptos bottomed out during
So
that
you
time.
can see my trade over here. It's actually just around like up and down. So I'll just keep it open and see what happens tomorrow with it, honestly.
In October, November of 2022. For XRP, it's interesting. We actually bottomed out in June of 2022. So if I take you right here to the XRP chart during that time, XRP actually bottomed out at 28 cents in June of 2022. So it's a little bit before that. And then you slide on over in June of 2023, this is when the ISM bottomed out. We had still been in a bear market, but because crypto pulled back so hard, right, in 2022, and you'll see the XRP drop took place right here, right into the first part of November. This took XRP back down to about 31 cents during the FTX collapse. We were up.
So these are the major catalysts. So what this video is telling me is we need some form of a major catalyst. Otherwise, it's not looking good. That's what I'm getting from this video, if I understand correctly. The major catalyst, nothing happening so far, as I know, in December.
Ruling that XRP was not a security. But we go back to the ISM, and we're going to look here. It bottomed out in June of 2023 at about 46, and then it finally went back into expansion after President Trump got elected in the first part of January 2025. Take a look. So we bottomed out here, June 2023, and then we get back into expansion up to about 51 in January of 2025. Well, what was happening to our crypto market during that time, right? That's when basically all of the altcoins.
This is the major catalyst. The major catalyst event we need to see is government buying like XRP.
2023, this was a great time to buy.
I mean, this is when whales could be buying for very cheap.
Interest rates are coming back down. Big tax cuts and refunds and checks already coming out, and we're talking about that coming in 2026. So it took us all of 2025 to unwind all of this crap. So we basically topped out here right as President Trump came in, but then we...
So a lot of the price could be delayed. This is one thing I agree. Maybe 60 days, maybe 100 days from now, this is when we're really going to be seeing the price changes, and that's what I'm excited about.
Hey, it's Camila.
So let's check this, why XRP works. I want to play with the whales, not just be against the whales.
Just a couple hours ago, which is good. But I'm just saying, man, the news and everything happening today, plus Bank of Japan, as we predicted, as we talked about it, yesterday, they raised the interest rate. So there's things that are affecting the market. It's obviously one for traders to do and to enjoy because they want to make money. Take a look at this right now for the price of XRP. Went up 7%, which is nice. Now it's down.
No, I don't. Personally, I don't think 7% is enough for XRP. It deserves much more. Smash that like button if you guys agree. But the problem right now with XRP is 7% can be invalidated very fast. Look at my trade, for example. Invalidated. Very, very fast. It can be destroyed. And that doesn't it can literally change all in an instant. So it kind of tells you the full story here of what's going on.
Down as we wake up, as we're receiving Friday. But let me tell you the full story, guys, because we have Trump. The administration says that we're closer than ever to passing the crypto market legislation that's called Clarity Act. Everybody wants the Clarity Act. Japan raising by 25 basis points. So, yep, that usually brings...
Realistic exit point for XRP. Again, this is not financial advice, but right now I'm waiting for it to go from welcome Gary TTC 2030 to the stream. I'm waiting for it to go from 1.8 to hit 1.8 or hit 2. There's no middle ground for me until it hits those levels, and I'm just going to keep waiting until it hits those levels because it's obviously not moving right now. And until that happens, you never know. So who knows? It's going to be hard to break through at $4. There's a resistance level there. It can't even push past $2 right now. It's just trying to push back up, but it will eventually, in my honest opinion. And then 2026, the sky is the limit, right? Maybe we could see 2.5 again. Not financial advice, 2.4. Let's see.
Down the market, we have today at 1 p.m.
Maybe 3.
East. We'll be watching, guys. We also have this one that
So yeah, it seems like a lot of news we have for pro crypto. Trump administration says we're closer than ever to passing the landmark crypto market structure legislation. This is something that has been very, very, very important for crypto. But again, the ETFs speak volumes. The ETFs don't bring enough volume to make the market different. If you check my trades over here, I'm literally up now 2%, but it's going up so slowly. When we had it, a past few months, it was way, way better at that point.
is also
It was just like, it was hitting 5% per minute. And now it's just like, what? I should be happy with 4%? Yes. I mean, it's just going to go back down. You're going to see I'm going to try to close this trade and it's instantly going to go down back to, between 1.88 and 1.95. This is why I haven't built my trading bot yet.
might be a signal that we're getting closer and closer and closer to a bottom, right? Which I like. This is good. It just comes to show that these are the events that the world waits, and even coming back with the hike, right, for Japan, right? I mean, I'm just having someone new for the CFTC, right? I like it.
It's good we have pro crypto, but seems like a lot of regulation is happening right now, but the prices are not moving. Like less and less people care about crypto and XRP.
Be price predictions when you ask about XRP futures and what's next. All I'm saying is, you see all those dips.
Yeah.
All those dips have nothing to do with XRP. It's just about the manipulation on the market and everything.
Guys, if you also want to join me on 2bit, link in the description below. That's something I'm doing right now. I'm analyzing trades live as well and taking trades live on my trading journey. So smash that like button.
We've seen how we go up and up.
There's
and
a XRP competition we have right now as well, which is pretty cool.
People are for sure finding some relief that they see XRP in the green, but immediately we get punished. That makes sense. It doesn't sometimes, but at the end of the day, people are buying. I bought the XRP dip and I like it.
I mean, you could buy the dip, but at some point it's going to become catching a falling knife. That's what I'm worried about. Like at some point, the crypto crash is going to be real.
I mean, it just adds more to my bag. So when the time is right, if we zoom out, right, come all the way right here, we're going to see how we are at the bottom. Back in June, back in April, back in, the beginning.
Well, the worried part about this, looking at this chart back in June, is every time we see 3.66, we can't hold the resistance. Like we hit this double bottom, basically. Another bottom, one bottom. Yes, these are bottoms, but every time we get a rally, it gets pushed back, and it gets pushed back down hard. It gets pushed back down, to the previous rallies, like where the previous rally bottoms were. And you can see exactly as my experiment I told you guys, we're going down minus 1% because if you keep the trade too long and not paying attention, it's literally going down. It's just trading sideways.
Beginning of the year, February 2. We are at that bottom right now, guys. If I bring my Bollinger Bands too, I love them. And I noticed that if there was a chance, if there was a time for us to go all in or for us to do and convince ourselves that the time is now, it's today, right? Now, could we go lower? Yeah, but it kind of looks like if I open the order size, the same thing. It kind of does look like that we are already getting and scratching the bottom, right? And
I think the bottom, the best chance to buy would not be like when it's 2%, 1.9. It's the best chance would be at like 40 cents, 50 cents. It's hard to predict that, but that's when the lawsuit was over, a lot of these whales started buying in. That's when they really started really buying massive amounts. Exactly when lawsuit was over and when Trump was elected.
the surface is only looking at us from the top and saying, we're going to see you soon. So you're now aware of all the things occurring the last 24 hours and incoming, right, for this weekend. I'm excited. Of course, the year is ending, and I'll be prepared, for whatever is to come. But every single day we'll keep you in the know, guys, and we'll of course thankful. So my community watching, hold the line. We're not leaving, and I just wanted to keep you in the know with the latest. What's going on Triple Witching event today? A lot of things happening, of course. Take a look at this. Bitcoin has historically ranged between 6 to 9% around triple witching periods.
And again, I wouldn't focus that much the past on what is the future. You can already see today I'm down like 27 cents at this point. It's not been a perfect market.
So followed by stabilization once expiration pressure clears. There's going to be a lot of pressure today, volatility. If you cannot handle that, I wouldn't be opening any options today. That's just me.
I kind of agree with that. Like, it's super risky right now to enter the XRP positions. A lot of people who are bullish are getting liquidated by the whales. If you guys want to join me, link in the description below as well for 2bit, where I do my trades. But we have 1000x news. And again, look, it's trying to push back above, back to $2 range. If it can sustain, that would be absolutely amazing, right? But if it cannot sustain that, well, we're just going to trade sideways for a bit. Maybe even tomorrow, maybe even this week. Again, we need some whale, we need some catalyst news, we need Bitcoin to do something as well. It's not going to be so easy right now.
It's the biggest families, the biggest, industries. They're all hoarding and buying more Bitcoin.
So that's something I'm doing live on 2bit, also competitions, guys. If you want, join me, link in the description below. But Oscar Ramos has 1000x tokenized news.
And that connects really well because Michael Saylor just hinted another Bitcoin purchase. And next week we have numbers, data that is going to released. So get ready. As you know, guys, here on the channel, we'll keep you in the know with the latest updates news. So drop a like. Let us know in the comments down below. But before I tell you everything, XRP fam, because we're always watching the charts, we're always watching the numbers. Many people ask me, well, when are we gonna pump? What's happening? Well, there's a chart I want you to see because I think it's important. And it's coming from Coin Bureau and kind of like gave me an idea. And that's
altcoin dominance hits 5-year low. So it kind of tells you a story if XRP is the only one. Again, the only one that actually made a breakthrough other than Zcash and maybe Solana. All of the other ones, like even Ethereum, it's not altcoin season. The retail is not in yet. It's like corporations coming in now.
Well, I'm talking to you today.
5-year low.
The altcoin dominance, because we always talk about the Bitcoin dominance, right? How it's 59, 60, 55, less than 40, whatever. But you guys ever heard the term, right? Altcoin dominance and why we're not growing as fast as we used to? It's because a lot of people are hoarding and putting their focus on Bitcoin, right? Meaning all the capital is just going to one side of the aisle while the rest of the crypto is just not taking any money. So basic math, right? You add more here from the supply of money that you have and not much is going to altcoins. That's why you see tremendous manipulation, especially, if you saw Ethereum, XRP, Solana, might pump 20% one day, but the next day is down 30%. They're getting this data from, if we come to TradingView, there's something called Crypto Total Market Cap 1, 2, and 3. 1 is everything, all crypto. 2 is excluding Bitcoin, and 3 is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum.
So yeah, it definitely tells me the retail is not here. Like, it's not here at all. And it probably doesn't want to stay if you look at that. We're still a far out from really getting to there.
So this is total 3, and we're at $832 billion. So you take out the first 2, our market is only $832 billion, which sounds like a lot of money, but guess what?
This is a very small market. We used to be at 3 trillion. Again, 3 trillion. This is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So a lot of these altcoins, they don't have the same chance that they didn't even have the same chance like as we were hoping for. in the past. They have way, way, way less chance for grow now. Not like 2021.
This is gonna sound so crazy, but Elon Musk, he's $750+ billion net worth. So Elon Musk can be its own crypto market. I'm just telling you guys.
Like Nvidia, that was the one that people really looked for this year. There were plenty of others that people wanted to look for at this point.
These are the facts. So imagine if he launches a coin. I mean, that's the biggest influencer, right? Drop a like, everybody. Consider subscribing. We'll tell you the latest.
So yeah, it just seems like Nvidia is owning the entire crypto market cap. A lot of attention from 2021 went into different coins. And this can tell you, XRP is not getting the same attention it should deserve, or at least people are hoping it gets. So let's take a look here. Actually, look, 4-hour chart is not looking that well.
So the altcoin market, Bitcoin is getting a lot of that liquidity, where crypto as a whole right now is 21, 4, 5. We haven't been able to really pass a 1 trillion just out of Ethereum and Bitcoin. We're always hovering the under 1 trillion, right? Meaning, if I come here, this is the weekly, by the way. So it's been, since October, it's been 10 weeks, 70 days that crypto's been.
70 days. Time flies, but it really tells you the whole story. XRP still... It's kind of just like these 17 days is just trying to break a pause.
Lagging.
Yeah.
We're not going to see progress as long as this chart continues. We'll come back to this. Listen to this.
You have a lot of countries around the world that are actively buying. If you go to, the UAE, if you go to a lot of countries, they are actively putting that in their treasuries. And you look at the Fortune 500 companies, they are actively hoarding Bitcoin. The biggest families, the biggest companies, countries, sovereign wealth funds, and individuals are all hoarding Bitcoin, right? It's why it's been as explosive as it is. And you have a lot of countries around the world.
So he's telling you.
So yeah, big names are buying into altcoins XRP. But retail, it might be 2026, but it might even be 2027, in my honest opinion. It's not going to be like perfect at this point.
They are doing it. Okay? So, Grayscale tokenized assets could grow 1,000x by 2030, Grayscale says. So, tokenized assets are just 0.01% of global markets, but could grow 1,000x. So, demand for Ethereum, Binance, Solana, Avalanche, Chainlink, HBAR, Ondo, and more. That is why we're getting onto those altcoins before this whole thing starts. We haven't really seen tokenization expand, right? So if they do that and Wall Street starts realizing, oh man, those are the players that we should be.
So tokenized assets are 2030. This is why I don't believe in tokenized assets as someone who has some experience. Look at the prices now, 192. And guess what, guys? Look what happened with SHIB 4 years ago. A lot of things can change in 5 years. A lot of people don't agree with this. Can't even pass $2, 1,000x, still won't move 25 cents. We're expecting maybe a growth by 2030. I think this growth could be sooner, but it's not going to be 2025. It's like a few days left until 2025. But it does make sense that we could be seeing another bull run rally on, let's say, for example, this point, Grayscale, like 2027.
No, because we're talking about XRP here. She is not the greatest ally for altcoins or XRP. She had a chance to talk to Brad Garlinghouse in Congress, right? Before Congress, Brad and other different leaders attended and they were speaking, and she basically ignored the whole panel. Everyone in the panel asking, the senators, they were asking questions about whatever, the SEC, Ethereum, securities, and Ripple. But she was the only one that just ignored the whole panel, and she was just talking to the chair. And that's it.
All right, that's interesting. Goodbye to one of its strongest. Oh, Crypto is saying thank you and goodbye. I guess like she was really into crypto and XRP army loved her, but something happened in politics. I'm not too sure. Um, and they just went a full 180, right? But this tells you a full story. Dominance hits a 5-year low. Again, if dominance was high for altcoins, XRP would be now at $6 and Bitcoin would be much lower. Bitcoin is capturing most capital while altcoins lag behind. Literally, we had a terrible market for altcoins, and it's like taking years really in the crypto space right now. It's not gonna take just days.
It's like, hey, when are you gonna look at these technologies, right? That are gonna help tokenization? Because Bitcoin is not gonna do that. You're talking about a different type of utility. You feel me? So they haven't realized what's coming yet. And Michael Saylor says, green dots get orange dots. So he's buying more. He's buying more.
He's buying more, but also like the investors, his investors are buying more as well. So yeah, he has 59 billion right now. If Bitcoin crashes, they will be forced to sell XRP, not XRP, Bitcoin, and forcing a further crash. So they are keeping the boat afloat. Literally, when they buy, they're keeping the boat afloat of itself.
Keeping everybody checked, right, for crypto and updated. And I'm excited, man. So the letter says October PC inflation Monday, Q3 GDP Tuesday, CB consumer confidence data Tuesday, new home sales data Tuesday, durable goods Wednesday, stock market closed Thursday because of Christmas, and more shutdown data coming this week. So there you have it, everybody. I want to invite you also to our BTCC.
So yeah, look, guys, if you check my 2-bit account, we're literally 1% up. The markets, we're just going to keep it holding for now. We do have XRP. Are you seeing this? Seems like, we're just seeing here. I want to see more than 1% gain because I'm greedy. And then we can actually close out this trade live. This is the most important factor right now. On 2-bit, if you guys want to join me, link below. But yeah, XRP, are you seeing this? Smash that like button. I'm thinking live trades here because I want to know how the XRP market... Shocking news, XRP repriced, XRP not for trade. I mean, what do you mean it's not for trade? Because I'm seeing here the price right now is, as I open this trade, I'm having a trade open. I'm doing a challenge, $81, and we're trying to get as much as possible. Basically, I also open an XRP trading bot, but we're up 2% right now. It's very obvious that XRP is not pushing higher as we are having big whale drops every single time we try to push higher and higher, right? So XRP boom, Japan's bond market is breaking. Is this like changing XRP or is it already priced in?
Viciously calm. So you got to ask the question, why? Well, it's simple, because when markets stop reacting to bad news, it means something bigger is controlling the flow. Let me say that again. When markets stop reacting to bad news, it means something bigger
XRP, or
is controlling the flow. And here's
partnerships and acquisitions. Partnerships is what really saves Ripple, in my opinion, because this is the first year that they have actually been positive. So welcome to the stream as well. If you're new, Terpreneur. But yeah, this is the most important factor. Without these partnerships, during the bear market, XRP would go kaput. It would just disappear. So I feel like the partnerships is what's saving XRP right now, and it becoming one of the main important major lines. Look at Ethereum. It doesn't have any partnerships. Look at, Bitcoin. It's the first one. Bitcoin is winning because of that. But when you look at the long-term price plan, you can really see that XRP is building something to be profitable even if the markets crash badly.
accidental. It is actually pre-positioning, which gets us over to this. Because suddenly on that same day, your Epstein files, they dropped. Everyone freaks out, right? Outrage in the markets. Twitter's exploding. Everyone says we're gonna dump, they're gonna find out who Satoshi is and that Bitcoin's linked, Bitcoin's gonna crash, it's gonna drag the rest of the market down with it. And then you realize when the data gets dumped that 90% of it is actually redacted. What did you think, folks?
Exactly, guys. So these Bitcoin files, like the files, they don't have nothing to do with XRP, but utility like Andrew Bustamante on Bitcoin. I never heard his name before, but utility matters, folks. That's what he said.
You know what's going on behind the scenes? The same thing when you use crypto, when you send money cross borders. You're just going to do what you're used to doing, walking into your store.
Yeah, XRP is like focused on fixing that. When you like, are people even talking about sending Bitcoin yet? Because sending Bitcoin has gotten really expensive, like $5, $3. Yes, you have Bitcoin Lightning or whatever it's called, which is cool, but XRP, to send XRP should be like a fraction of a penny. When you send a bank transfer, why do you have to pay $20 to get it next day? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I remember I had to pay like $28. It makes 0 sense. It's your money, and it should be like a fraction of a penny.
Going online, but the back
And as you can see, XRP is trying to push up higher. My trade is up 2.6%.
end financial plumbing, it's going to be changed and it's going to handle everything. Now, he wasn't bullish here. He wasn't bearish, but what he was very specific. He said that real power, it doesn't live in hype. It lives in utility, in systems that move real assets, real value at a nation state scale. That's the part that most
Ripple will gift XRP escrow to the government, then they will 589 and reprice. They just use it as a store of value. Exactly. This is why I like Ripple, what it's doing as a company, and why I'm only trading Ripple right now on 2bit. It makes total sense because Ripple is the only one that's gonna stay at that time. It is the only one that can actually do all of this. Maybe there's going to be other chains, but again, if retail comes in, which we are questioning right now, when and why retail comes, this is going to be the bullish momentum.
most people miss. Crypto isn't about numbers go up, green candles for days. It's actually about who controls settlement when the old pipes fail. And when bond markets crack, interest rate policies break, Japan, and liquidity dries up, utility is going to matter. That is why certain assets are being suppressed, delayed, litigated, and misunderstood. Because once they're live, guess what? There's no undo button, folks. There's no control Z.
This is the issue we have with XRP. Like, building an awesome product takes actual time. Building something for fun or building like a meme coin is really easy. It takes one day. And this is why people are complaining. Why is price still 1.91? Even me. Look, I have a trade open on 2bit, and you can see here 1.91. It doesn't want to go up. These things, they're going to take time. These partnerships, to have a partnership, it obviously takes a lot of time.
Undo that. Now, if you haven't got a call book, now's your time before it requires the full list to be submitted. Information.
2.5 trillion Amazon is now hiring for Bitcoin and crypto ecosystem lead. So again, it starts everything with Bitcoin, then it goes to other like coins like XRP. Even with Doge, like Dogecoin, we saw what happened with Elon Musk. He went for Doge, but he also was open to accepting Ethereum, Solana. A lot of these companies do that, and they're going to accept the ones with most volume. And there's a huge volume from the markets in Korea, from US, which is a huge factor to get actually XRP out there.
From Ashish Birla saying that Amazon was a Ripple partner. So let's pivot to this because this actually matters. $2.5 trillion Amazon. They are looking to hire a Bitcoin and crypto ecosystem lead. Let that sink in. Not a blockchain researcher, not an NFT consultant. They are looking for an ecosystem lead. That's infrastructure language. That's settlement language. That's, hey,
they know, like Amazon obviously knows people will want to use crypto for payments. And this is what the entire selling point of XRP is right now.
We're integrating something massive and we need someone who already understands its language. Now, companies this size, they don't speculate. They prepare. And they don't hire publicly unless the decision has already been made internally. Something is coming in a massive way, everyone. And guess what? It's not optional.
Good tattoos ain't cheap, and cheap tattoos ain't good. That's a great point. Great and functional products take time. I fully agree here. Like, this is the things that we are preparing for 2027, 2028. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, a lot of these meme coin projects, they might be around for one day, and then suddenly, after like 1 week, they're gone. Whoa, our big whale sells, and it's over, right? But with XRP, that's what I like about it, is it actually stays, and you check back like after 13 years, oh, they actually partner up with the biggest banks ever. It builds a lot of credibility and trust, which is very rare to find in crypto. You have so many projects. Ooh, this is a very, like, this trade turned sour real fast. It's just what I'm telling you. The markets are so unstable right now. But yeah, it makes total sense that XRP is here to actually be even in like 10 years, for example.
Charter, they slashed it in half. Kathy Wood, she revised lower. Retail hear that and thinks, uh-oh, maybe it's over. Maybe they were right this whole time. Bitcoin already topped. But you know what the institutions hear? And you know what they think? Perfect. Cheaper entries. Less attention now. Bingo! Folks, this is textbook narrative compression. Lower expectations.
Yeah.
They shake your confidence and they accumulate quietly behind.
I mean, I feel like the only part I wouldn't agree with him here is that they're accumulating quietly. I think most of these big banks already bought their XRP for very cheap, and they're gonna keep buying until like the end of times. Like, they are gonna keep buying because they expect people to, come back at some point. They're buying for a reason. They're buying for the ETFs. They're buying for volume.
People uncomfortable. There's a theory out there gaining traction, and it's not coming from hype accounts. The idea behind this theory is that Ripple's escrow was never meant for open market sales. It was pre-allocated institutional liquidity.
A lot of companies bought XRP. They're even trying to buy XRP coins directly. XRP NFTs would be funny. But XRP RWA, I think, NFTs were a great point to start discovering what XRP could be. I'm personally thinking XRP is going slightly up here. What XRP NFTs could be, and turn it to XRP real world assets. People holding real world assets. That's the big thing.
Think about it. 64 billion sitting there, not as a dump risk, but as a ready to deploy settlement fuel. If that's true, and the logic tracks, then XRP isn't competing with Bitcoin. It is doing something completely different. It is aligned.
So yeah, as you guys can see, I open a trade on 2bit right now, but the markets are so shaky. Like, it's a battle between bears and whales, and obviously I have a pretty big position size here, so it's throwing me up and down the boat.
With institutional settlement systems, with your cross-border liquidity, and your financial plumbing that replaces broken bond markets and correspondent banking. Now, that changes everything, because assets positioned for global liquidity crises, they don't move like memes. They move when the...
See, it's absolutely shocking today. Like, it's just pushing lower, and I'm thinking the bottom is like 1.8, which is pretty bad. Like, when you think about it, we just invalidated in the last 1 hour, we lost everything we gained like today at this point. So we're back at the start. It's absolutely crazy what's happening to the market right now.
Bank of Japan.
So you got a pretty clear idea. 1000x tokenized news. So we also saw Trump XRP law will change everything. Now, I was talking about Trump XRP law for some time, and this is what really makes a big difference. I have been trading on 2bit.
Something is
pretty often, but this was the thing. Like, first of all, we have retail coming in with those like $1,600 dividends we were hearing about on the news. That's the first factor. Huge bullish news, so smash the like button for that. Second of all, we have Trump XRP law, basically 0% tax. We do have some breaking info. XRP just did something no other crypto companies has ever done. Ripple isn't just trying to survive regulation, but they're building a bank. This ends speculation or whatever. But the price, is moving slow because they're actually building products over here. If we look at XRP chart, it's still nothing that what it was before.
They're actually becoming the regulation. Ripple Labs filed an interagency application, which is officially approved for Ripple's national.
So yeah, it does seem like it is building a positive support level, which means I can open now a short. I mean a long. I can open a bullish long here as XRP is trying to dig out of the hole. It used to be 1.93. Now going back, it definitely makes sense to open a long here, in my personal opinion, on my trade. Trades are risky, guys.
Trust bank in the United States.
Welcome.
A federally regulated trust bank. That's right. Not an exchange, not a fintech workaround. No loopholes here. A U.S. trust bank inside the system. And that application, it cleared 7 days ago. And that matters more than any courtroom headline ever did. You want to know why? Because I'm going to tell you, Ripple can custody digital assets at an institutional level. They get direct access to the U.S. banking infrastructure. Liquidity is now going to move without intermediaries. Compliance.
So immediately as I open this trade, you can see that yes, XRP is still alive and well. It's kicking off, but it's kicking off slow. A lot of the whales are trying to push it back, dumping, making money, and that's the real problem.
It's no longer a risk. It's embedded. And XRP becomes financial plumbing, not an outsider asset. While other crypto companies fought regulators, Ripple did something smarter. They positioned themselves inside of the system. Now look, you don't have to like XRP. You don't have to actually even own it. But other crypto projects, they are this far along and becoming a regulated financial entity in the US. Ripple's the only one. No other crypto project is close. So that changes who's allowed to buy it and how much. And by the way, I've been here early before. Since 2017, I've seen it all. And this right here, this is a first, which moves us over to this because we are finally getting institutional confirmation.
I mean, institutions and XRP, if they're going to join anything, it's going to be XRP itself. They have the technology. So that's what I like to see. But I feel like a lot of these institutions, in my personal opinion, they're afraid of crypto. They want to say, XRP, we want to work with you, but push away this XRP coin. And that's exactly what Ripple is doing. It's slowly distancing itself. And I think in 5 years, 10 years, XRP coin is going to be used less and less. Not now, because they still need it. XRP needs it on how it pays for these fees, for the transfers, for the gas. But in the future, yeah, it's going to be something that, you know, they want Ripple's technology like the banks, but they don't care about XRP, USDT coin. They don't care nothing about it.
And this is all stemming from the Clarity Act that's going to get passed early next year. This is Canaries Capital CEO Stephen McClurg, and he said something that most people, they're just going to skip over. He stated that your global pension funds and insurance companies are now showing serious interest in XRP ETFs. Let that sink in, because what I'm about to show you a little later on is there is a massive rotation leaving Ethereum ETFs and that money coming into XRP ETFs. We'll get into that in a second. Now look, pension funds, they don't chase memes. Insurance companies, they don't gamble. They buy assets that fit regulated settlement frameworks. He also stated that XRP is the rails for the financial system. That's pretty interesting because that's not marketing language. That's how Wall Street, that's how they talk when they actually understand an asset. Listen up.
Yeah, I would that usually when you launch a new ETF that hasn't been in the market before, it's usually retail adoption that happens first. So we've seen a lot of impact from the retail audience in the first week or two. And then we started getting calls from pension funds and insurance companies globally. And that's the second market segment that we market to at Canary. But we're seeing a lot of interest there. XRP is truly a asset that most of Wall Street and most of the global capital markets get.
So this is like the Canary Capital CEO, Stephen McClurg. Global pension funds and insurance companies are showing a lot of interest in XRP ETFs. I mean, if I would be an older person and I would be wanting to invest into crypto, it would most likely be XRP, in my honest opinion. It would be XRP. It would not be like Shiba Inu or another random meme coin where I could lose everything. I would want to put, again, XRP and crypto is risky, but I would want to put at least something that has a company behind it.
Institutional alignment. The institutions are going to enter the market and they are going to come in full force. What's the old saying? They're going to come out swinging. And then look at the flows. Look at this number right here. That was on Friday. But let's look at the past 3 days. Wednesday, 50 million.
So yeah, we do have volume, but again, guys, remember, we were talking about billions upon billions of dollars of volume. And what we got is 60 million, exactly as I predicted. So this volume clearly shows you that these ETFs that I have been hyping you guys about, and I made a mistake because they actually got less volume than I thought. They got like 50 million volume, is not enough to what we were expecting.
This is what I keep telling you. Institutions run the markets. That is what you were seeing. It's not sexy because the price isn't moving. Price is actually going down, and people want to know, how is the price going down if we just seen over $100 million buy XRP within the past 3 days? Because it's done over the counter. It doesn't hit the public order book. The public order book is what controls the price of an asset. Remember, big money, they don't chase candles. They build positions quietly before regulations hit, before clarity hits, before the crowd can act.
That's why they keep buying silently, but I know they have bought, a lot of them have bought XRP at $1. They have not bought it at $5 or $3. So let that sink in. They definitely got it at a very cheap price already. This is why the price is not pumping.
Actually connect the dot. This title isn't dramatic. It's the truth. Someone is front running this damn market, folks. And let me ground you with a little bit of perspective here, because Grant Cardone's out here and he made this video. He took 115 Bitcoin as a payment 13 years ago. Or I wonder, he was the guy who sold the Bitcoin pizza guy the pizza. It was only worth 50,000 bucks at the time. He never sold that Bitcoin. Today, that Bitcoin's worth $11 million. Most people can be like, he got lucky. He didn't get lucky because he's still buying. He understands. He knows where this is going. That was conviction. Early adoption, it pays, folks. It pays to hold. I've been here 8 years. It has paid to hold. XRP for 8 years. Patience compounds hardest and fixed.
This is the smart factor. This is what I agree. So accepted 115 Bitcoin as payment 13 years ago. Like, people were holding XRP for a long time and it's now paying off for them. But obviously a lot of people have also bought XRP at 3.66. Let's not forget that. If we look on the 4-hour chart, again, my trade is positive right now, which is good. But if you look, we're still down 30, 40, 50% from all-time highs, which keeps me still concerned. So as it can go up, it can also go down super fast.
Supply assets. Well, Bitcoin, fixed supply asset. XRP, fixed supply asset. Hold isn't a meme. Everyone thinks it's just a meme. Hold is a strategy. And Bitcoin didn't reward hype. You know what it rewarded? It rewarded time. And the same psychology, it applies here. Now for the political signal that's coming in, because Senator Cynthia Lumen said the Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill, it's about to pass. Her words, not mine. We are ready to roll. That's not speculation. That is legislative confidence. Here you go. Remember, markets do not wait for law to pass.
Now, this is the big bill we've been talking about. Obviously, ETFs didn't help as much, but this is the one bill that gives me hope, at least.
Stay positioned before they do. And folks, make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you're loving this bounce based on regular.
Ethereum spot ETFs record a net record outflow of 75 million on December 19th. I mean, we got inflows for XRP, but because it's new. I'm guessing if it's going to be a bear market, XRP would drop as well. If you guys check my trade right now, it's not moving that much up. It's actually trading sideways exactly between the ranges I told you guys.
Across 11,000 financial institutions. You see it on your screen. Through partnerships like Finastra and their existing client base. RippleNet already has 200 institutions connected. Tiny compared.
This is where XRP really wins. Like, having all these partnerships, bam, it's an easy win for them.
Compared to Swift, I know, but that number, when it grows and it grows fast. But that's how integration works at the end of the day, right? Not disruption, but actual absorption. You can see this: Swift, Ripple, Xcurrent, banking customers, Finastra, how everything is connected. Now, Ripple's reach into Swift, it's unfolding through third.
Now Swift, if they can get even 13%, 10%, 5% of Swift market cap, they openly said, hey, we can get tons of money with that. So I'm hoping if they can get Swift on the board, this is going to be the next big thing for them. We do have another one. Banks are buying billions of XRP. Why is price not rising? $1.91 tells you the whole story. A lot of them are saying over-the-counter trade. I'm just keeping my positions open right now. I'm doing a trading challenge, and I'm going to open a trading bot later, but it's very clear that these banks are either buying OTC or these videos aren't buying enough. So I wanted to check this out.
This gets uncomfortable for a lot of people. Ethereum spot ETFs, they just posted a $75.9 million outflow. Yeah. You know who's
So yeah, some big, it seems like the corporations are selling because we could be entering a long bear market.
sold? BlackRock's clients. That's right. But you know what happened at that exact same time? XRP ETF inflows.
And the ETF inflows are like 24 million. That's why the price isn't rising. Literally because we're trading between these two ranges. I showed you guys on 2bit. I opened my trade. And we're going just the same ranges back and forth, 1.9 and $2. It just can't decide. And why would whales buy that price? They want to get it for cheap. They don't want to buy it at $5. They want to get it now, but they don't want to buy it 1.9. That's why we're staying the same at these prices and not much volume at all.
They started accelerating. That's right. We got the data, folks. Don't you worry about that. Now listen closely here. This is not an anti-Ethereum video. This is a capital rotation video. I want you to remember, money doesn't have emotions. Money doesn't have loyalty. It has objectives. And right now, well, those flows are telling a very clear story. If you're a retail crypto investor, this video matters. Because this is how institutional money actually moves long before the headlines explain it. Today, I'm going to connect two things most people are looking at separately. Your Ethereum ETF outflows, thanks BlackRock, and your...
I mean, Ethereum outflows are just people, not selling Ethereum, but track institutional flows. It seems like a lot of people want XRP to go up and they start buying it. It's also a newer thing. You can see here a lot of the whales are trying to push forward at 1.91.
BlackRock's clients. Why did they do it? Well, they reduced exposure. Now stop right there for a second. I know what you're thinking. ETH's dead. It's over. No, that's not what I'm saying. That is not even what this means. It does not mean that institutions are bearish on Ethereum long term. This is about relative opportunity. Institutions don't ask, which coin do I...
So I will just close this trade at about 2% profit at this point, 3% profit, whatever it is.
love. They don't care. They don't have emotions. They're not emotionally attached to these cryptos, everyone. But what they do ask is, where does my next dollar have the highest probability return with the lowest regulatory friction? Ethereum already had its moment. It already had its ETF approval. It had its market repricing, and it
seems it's pushing out higher on the 1-minute chart. If you look up here, it's building some small resistance, which can be easily broken out by one whale dumping.
It's public consensus. That means that the easy money phase, it is over for now. So what do institutions do next? That's the $1 million question. And the answer to this question, it's very simple. They rotate. That's right. Now we're going to look at XRP. Because here's where things start to get interesting. Here's where things start to get spicy. Now, I made the videos in the past. I spoke about BlackRock. I made several videos telling you BlackRock is entering the XRP game. They haven't announced it yet, but as always, what do the institutions do? They front run the markets. They get their position. Once they are in,
they already bought a lot of XRP cheap. And as you can see, as I held my trade, literally as we are watching this video, we're up 4% on 2bit. That's what we're doing right now. We're calling the market as it goes live.
Position, they are lined up. They have allocated.
If you guys want to join me as well on 2bit on trading XRP competition, link in the description below. But yeah, it does seem like they are trying to buy XRP, but what we saw with the inflows and outflows is only 42 million volume.
The amount of money that they have set aside for these cryptos, then they will make the announcement. BlackRock's not going to come out here and tell everyone in the world that they're buying XRP. Why? Because the price is going to skyrocket. BlackRock doesn't want you pumping the price before.
I mean, they already bought. I'm guessing like their own would buy. I mean, BlackRock hasn't even listed XRP yet, so it kind of makes sense. Maybe next year.
They're able to accumulate their position. So what do? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Probably sounds familiar, right? Because you've probably seen FUD all over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. FUD causes the price to crash. The price goes lower, BlackRock accumulates it, and when they are ready, they finally make that announcement. So now when we look at XRP here, no hype, no mainstream headlines, no retail frenzy, just flows, everyone. Wednesday, XRP ETFs did $50 million. Thursday, 65 million.
I mean, weren't we talking about billions of outflows? I mean, I get it. We were talking about lots of outflows, but it just doesn't make sense, right?
$1 million. And then Friday, $60 million. That's not noise. That is constant accumulation. And this type of accumulation can only be done by one special group of people. We call them institutions. Retail doesn't have 50, 60, 65 million.
So yeah, we could probably close this out now at a profit of 6%. So yeah, I'm just going to close this one out. Flash close it, and that's it. Perfect.
Retail doesn't even have 1 million, folks. These are whales. These are institutional clients. These are pension funds that are coming in, insurance accounts that are buying up XRP. We heard it from Canary Capital CEO. He's one of these that actually runs the Canary XRP spot ETF. And he just recently put out a video telling you who these people are, or these groups of people that are stepping in and accumulating XRP. Here's the key difference between your institutional accumulation and your retail accumulation. Retail, these price can.
Yeah, retail is the one that still hasn't gotten into XRP yet. So yeah, the upward potential is strong, but also for other crypto coins, they aren't super big.
Institutions accumulate before the story actually breaks, right? This kind of flow pattern, it tells you one thing. Positions are being built, not traded. No spikes, no emotional surges, just steady inflows. This is exactly
small, steady inflows that one whale can dump. And that's what we saw. Look, 22nd December, don't forget. 1.92 all the way to 1.94, down to a big whale dump. Let's not forget a small bull run rally, 1.92 to 1.93. Another whale dump down to 1.91. So don't be fooled if the outflows, inflows right now, inflows are 60 million or whatever it is, or 24 million volume, because it's simply not enough. And we close this candle exactly when it's red.
What front running a market looks like. I mean, anyone who is watching XRP and watching these inflows every single day, you should be scratching your head, because just last week, the volume was around 20 million. We've 3x the volume. Why? Why all of a sudden did the volume spike like this? Something is coming. Something major is coming. They tried to scare you with the Epstein documents.
I mean, I just don't agree with this, that something major is coming. We have been hearing that for such a long time. So the major thing for XRP, it happened already this year in July.
Did absolutely nothing. They tried to scare you and push that false narrative of the Bank of Japan, the interest rates, it's going to crash the price of crypto. It did absolutely nothing. And all in the meantime, the institutions were accumulating. You sold your bag thinking that there was going to be a flash crash down to $1 because that's what certain people pushed out there, and the institutions purchased your bag. That is what you call a shakeout, and you fell for it. I've been here 8 years. I've seen this time and time and time again.
I mean, the institutions keep wanting to buy because that's how they make money, right? But at some point, they're going to sell everything and move to another platform.
When the risk is definable, when the narrative is forming, and when retail isn't paying attention. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. But here's the mistake that retail makes every single cycle. This is my third cycle. I am a 3-time bear market survivor. That's right. Retail always thinks that price comes first and then the money's going to follow after it. Institutions know that, hey, money moves first and the price will follow later. I've told you before, I will tell you again. Price is a lagging indicator.
I also agree with that, but you're usually going to see when XRP prices come up, you're going to see lots of green candles, lots of whales. I don't see any volume at all. That's the worst sign for a bear market. Again, this is the worst sign when you don't see anything proper. Look at this. It's crashing at 1.91 and there's just not enough volume to even push it to $2. Doesn't this tell you a story?
By the timeline, the headlines are telling you XRP is surging, institutional demand is through the roof. Their position's already built, and you're too late. That's why these flows look.
So yeah, we've been streaming a bit. We took a small break from streaming, but we're back daily with streams. Hope you're well as well. Just back to now we're doing a bit of trading, and we're actually positive here. We finished well, so that's the most important factor.
Measured and quiet. Someone isn't guessing. Someone is out here front-running regulation, clarity, and adoption. And by the time this crowd connects the dots on what's actually going on, the positioning will already be done. So here's the...
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I honestly don't think the whales are going to be buying big. Like, I've been looking at other crypto coins, and I don't think we're fully in a retail market. Look at coins like Shiba Inu. XRP, Zcash, these are one of the few ones that actually won this market cycle. And then there's many who did not do well. Very, very scary.
And has just initiated what will now be known as...
Look at these prices. Every time we try to break out during the weekends, we get pushed back. And that's what I'm telling you guys. It's going to be trading in these key ranges until something changes.
The stock and crypto market crisis because of the bond yields. I mean, it's a very simple equation. When bond yields rise a lot, it sucks up global liquidity. And Japan is the first mover and the first aggressive mover in this regard. This is going to have a huge impact on XRP in the short term. But what happens long term is, I think, what we need to be focusing on here. Because if we can see through a lot of the clamor, a lot of the noise, a lot of the bearish short term stuff that is going on here, I do think...
I mean, this is the news I saw of the week. This was like driving mile an hour and then being surprised there will be a crash. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody expected that, except like maybe people who wanted to do last second trades before it happened. And yeah, this is bad because a lot of these banks borrowing the dollar itself are going to be now, trying to off-sell this. That's the big news. But I feel like a lot of banks were prepared for this already, but still it will impact the markets.
I think that there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we're talking tremendous light. So let's dive deep into this. Japan's 10-year bond yield has officially surpassed the 2008 financial crisis. Now, I posted this on X this morning because I do think a lot more XRP volatility will be coming as a result of this. I'll give precise reasons why that is the case, why global liquidity drying up actually causes a lot of turmoil in the crypto assets specifically, but I want to show you guys this chart real quick because it does tell a very compelling story. Right here is the 2008 financial crisis, 10-year bond yields for Japan, just below 2%. This is today. We are now actually just above 2% on the 10-year bond yield for Japan. This, generally speaking, has been an extremely bearish sign. I mean, the 2008 financial crisis, I don't think I need to...
I agree, but... this going up, this is a bearish sign overall. This is, but it is an expected bearish sign. It's not like this is unexpected like we saw 2023. It's bad in that sense. It's not that crazy, in my opinion, that we weren't expecting that.
First thing that needs to be addressed here. We can see inflation in Japan has risen about 2.9% year over year in November, which is the second highest reading since July. And core inflation, which excludes prices of fresh food, rose over 3% year over year.
So yeah,
This marks the
there is inflation, obviously, but also you guys have to understand the prices of wages. Like, wages are going up. We do have other positive news. Now, the wages aren't super high. How does this affect the XRP? Well, the thing is right now is this affects the XRP global economy. Again, these are macro market levels, which are already priced in my opinion.
44th consecutive month in China with inflation above the Bank of Japan's target rate of just 2%. And we can see rice inflation.
And also, guys, I'm using my trades on 2bit. If you guys want to get started, you can use the link in the description below for an XRP bonus. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below, click register to participate, and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me, link in the description below. So yeah, you got a pretty clear idea of what's happening. Japan just initiated the XRP crisis. I don't think so. XRP still on to par to the markets.
And, companies as well will be pressured in an immense way as well, which is very unhealthy for the economy of Japan. So, yeah, I think until they get to this 2% goal, they're probably going to continue raising rates as they've done now. And I do think it's going to get even worse than it is now in terms of the...
I mean, yeah, Japan is not the key factor, but it's one of the key factors we're getting for XRP recession.
10-year bond yields and the 2008 financial crisis, which does have the potential impact to make the potential collapse or the unwinding worse as well. Now, I know the question all of you guys are probably wondering is, okay, these policy rates that we've seen over the last year for Japan, all of the times that they have changed their rates, what has been the impact? I mean, what's been going on here? Well, if we go to March 2024, we can see the rate change was 0.10%. The new policy rate went from 0% to 0.1%, and this resulted in about a 27% drop for Bitcoin. July 31st, 2024, went from 0.15 to 0.25, so the new policy rate was 0.25%. And this resulted in another 26% drop. In January, we once again saw a 0.25% increase in the total new policy was 0.5%, which resulted in a 31% drop for Bitcoin. So what we can see so far is, yes, December just got a new rate change. We have yet to see this impact on the markets. There's been
I mean, didn't it super drop during 2022? So obviously this is going to be a correction, and nothing shows that we're entering a huge XRP wave of another bull run rally. There just isn't anything to put the macro markets into a positive trend line. So what I'm seeing right now, if we look at this, I'm using the array chart, but it's very positive that we're still trading between these two levels as set $2 and 1.84. And we might, for the foreseeable future. That's why I haven't taken any trades yet, because you never know what might happen. For example, right now I could open a long, but it's not going to be a long-term long. It's going to be a short-term long that I can take just some profit on. So I'm going to take a small profit on here, 5% stop loss, 10% up down, because it just crashed, right? On the 15-minute chart, obviously it seems like on a perfect position to go from here.
Rate that they're going to be having, their new policy rate, that's when the market's going to find its bottom or very close to that point in time. So this is something to keep in mind. I mean, it's undeniable the correlation here. You can see all of these drops aligning perfectly with every previous.
If you look at the 1 minute chart, it's not looking that great. I'm just going to open a long here, in my personal opinion, at stop loss at 3%, because that's what we need right now. We need some sort of a massive bull run rally. But it's very clear it's trading these two ranges.
Rate hike in Japan. And the U.S., once again, does not have any immediate plans to decrease their rates. So it's going to create an environment which is extremely volatile in the short term, as a lot of investors are essentially going to be panicking, trying to figure out how to pick up the scraps in the meantime. Now, this does not mean that everything is completely negative and it's the end of the world, whatever. It's just,
injecting this into the market, this is bullish for XRP, which could pump the prices. Could. but it's not like a certain indicator it's gonna pump the prices. So it's just another one of those, yeah, this is great, but it's not the main thing.
M2, even though they're not very closely interlocked with the rest of the world economy.
Exactly. That's what I'm worried about. Like, we're getting tons of news. Oh, this is going to change everything. But in the end, nothing happens. The price stays at 1.91. Even look, 1% up. That's great. But it doesn't change the fact that right now, XRP has been like this for months. So just remember this factor.
Economies in terms of reserves, it will help boost liquidity. And if more Chinese investors decide to get more heavily involved in cryptocurrency with their extra capital and maybe less so in real estate,
isn't it like banned there?
Then that's going to be good too. What I will say is China does focus on China. They don't really focus on America. They don't focus as much on Europe. They just export.
And XRP as a US based company. So let that sink in. I don't think this is bullish news at all. But again, you know, it's good to be hopeful.
Allow them.
And again, 148 billion into the market is nothing for them. It's like pennies
to create these products.
But speaking about good stuff, I'm up on my trade, just like I told you guys, 3% up.
For much cheaper, and as a result, build a higher deficit, which they've been doing consecutively for many, many years now. And that has helped grow their economy massively over the last few decades. And so I don't think that Japan adding a ton of liquidity is going to have a huge impact for the M2 as a result of that, because they're not mixing and intermingling that currency as much because they're tight controls. They only have 2.5% of the global M2 share, basically. They're not focused on that at all. But that does not mean that this is not a good sign. And we also are noticing right now in the United States, there's a small amount of stimulus coming in. They're adding a few $1 billion in stimulus through purchasing of treasury bills and that kind of stuff. So that's also something that is nice to see. And so, yeah, I think overall there is a very negative short-term catalyst here with Japan raising their rates. The impact so far has been undeniable. And so we have yet to see the impact of the latest hike, and we have yet to see the impact of future hikes. And so this is something that I think, need to pay attention to over the next 6 months for sure, and be prepared for. And so
I agree with that. Prepare for another market drop. Don't forget that these market drops can be pretty bad. In my opinion, it's not perfect, but it should get the job done. Again, we need to either see a drop so the whales can buy, or we need to see a bull run so at least something happens. At least something. But guys, if you want to check out my 2-bit link in the description below, get ready for, I want to check this one. I want to do a price prediction for Jasmy right now. So yeah, it does seem like the bear market is still on. This is this is another one that I want to do a price prediction for. People are calling $17. $17. This means people would be multi-millionaires. The math does not add up. See, Jasmy volume surge to $17 confirmed in 60 days. Impossible. I just don't see a point. I would bet my life that we will never get to these prices. And yeah, it's been an absolute horrendous time for crypto in general, for a lot of these coins. A lot of nice projects, a lot of great projects out there that developers have put effort. They don't get attention because it's a bear market. And if you see my trade over here, I'm up 6%. I'm up 6% because I feel, and the only reason, my main strategy for this is why I'm doing this trade is because I think these cryptos are so low that the whales will not dump it for less. So where do they go? They go up. And this is exactly the only strategy we have right now. We don't have a super strong strategy, but it works because the markets have been disastrous at this point. Even XRP is now. Trade is because so yeah.
All amount of money, and from where we are currently could be a 100x. Where we were at 1 cent could be a 100x. Where we are now could be a 200x, right? We could see higher and higher figures from what we decided to invest into this play.
And this is absolutely horrible that we saw Jasmy at 5 cents, 2 cents, drop to 1 cent. It's now half a penny. I'm seeing the same as Shiba Inu. I think this one was the few projects that worked with Japan. But again, when the markets are low, this is when the whales will not sell it anymore. I feel like at some point you catch the falling knife and you win.
To grow it to exponential levels, right? Ridiculous levels. And I think that's what excites people the most. And while that isn't necessarily untrue, right? While there are opportunities to do that, it's not always a given to say that 100% this is the case. So getting to $17, is it a dream or is it reality? So we're going to talk about that in this video. If you guys could, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe.
$17, that's absolutely crazy, you know? Like $17, if people did that, it's like 1 cent right now. This is the same thing I'm hearing for years right now. Like, if XRP hits $100, I will be a millionaire. It's just statistically not possible. It means it would need to be replaced by the dollar. And this is what we speak on this channel. We speak like about the truth. We speak what really happens and what really matters.
And roughly, it would have to double in price, right? Now, from that 1 cent price, it would be a 100x up to $1 price point. So then you would have to see 17 times that as well, which means that you're looking at a crazy growth for anybody that's invested into it now.
The good thing about this, though, the good thing about these trades is you can take like a trade, and when you're up 20%, usually if it's you're up 20%, 30%, you take profit, right? You take your initial profit out, but at least you build some resistance. So like if you're going to go in those lower ranges, the whales have to dump on you.
The possibility is still for that to happen. However, I wouldn't bank on it as an investor to say that this is 100%. I'm looking at $100,000 that I put into Jasmy coin.
If you look at the volume for Jasmy coin, you see very little volume. $7, $6 on 2-bit. Considering Jasmy, $5, $17 from current price point will be a dreamer world. So that's the thing. You have Jasmy at $5. The issue is you have like a ton of people who have bought it at $5 or let's say $4 or $3. And they're suddenly going like saying, okay, I'm going to sell it at $6. I'm going to sell it at $3. I'm going to sell it at a loss because I bought it for $5, at least to give me $3 back. You're going to first have the people who want to sell it, you know, at those price ranges. And the second of all, you're going to have people who want to sell it for $5, $4. So it just doesn't make sense. I feel like it catches attention, especially when you have like this type of volume on an exchange like 2-bit. Again, $500 buy, then you have like $7 buy. You can check the order books here. It just doesn't make any sense at all. But I feel like the prices right now are so low. Like when you check something like that, personally, I think it's a long for me. Like it's a small long. We can open a small trade. We can go a bit risky, even 3% risk, because 3% doesn't make a good habit, but 2% is absolutely perfect just in case it gets like stopped out or something, and then you can open a trade, right? And that's it, because the prices right now are so low. You can see the whales are trying to push it above, but to get to like $17 we're still a long path.
I'm looking to hold it until it gets to $17 price point. That's not what I suggest. I would never suggest that, right? What I always
Yeah, so do people realize the amount of liquidity needed even to bring Jasmy to 50 cents? Spot buy and stake it and leave it. Exactly. Like we're seeing right now that people need to realize the trades. That's what I'm trying to teach on this basically streams on the channel is you got to realize the math behind it. If XRP is going to be $100, it means it will replace the dollar like itself. It will replace the people will never use XRP instead of the United States dollar. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Suggest is that you find lower price points that are more of a reality to you right now and to many other people right now, and then also have some for the future of what could be potentially that $17 price point. There's a lot of things that have to go into this, because at a $50 billion level, that is a $1 price point. At a
$50 billion. Wouldn't that be more than XRP? Let's check what XRP market cap is. XRP market cap right now is 116 billion. So it would need to be like half of XRP, which has like companies. It has like lots of investments. Seems like they're hitting a new low, and a lot of these altcoins are dropping. If we look at the 4-hour chart, just the time frame downwards, it's not showing the full graph, but you get the general idea. Yes, we could go lower, but I'm expecting some sort of a mini rally in January. And, you know, most people should just get spot at this point if it used to be 1 cent. But obviously what I'm seeing right now is a price drop. I used to be up 3%. Now suddenly, like, people are even selling it at this level, like as half a cent. So people will sell it as long as there's liquidity.
$100 billion level, that is a $2 price point, right? So for you to get to a $1 trillion price point, you know, you're looking at ridiculous levels, right? You're looking at not only the, you know, tens of billions, but you're looking at hundreds of billions, borderline, you know, trillions to get to some of those higher levels that we really expected to get to, right? Again, a $2 price point will be $100 billion market cap. Can you see this now at a $1 trillion market cap to get us to a $20 price point? I can't say no that it won't happen, because you never know how.
It's the issue with this bull run is only a select few will actually go up. You can see I went up from 6%, like, which means people are still selling it at a loss. People have to sell it at a loss, or they're just day trading at this point. Like, they're taking profit at the lowest of the low.
That makes sense. So in my opinion, right, if I had to bring everything full circle and say, where do I stand on this being reality versus a dream? I think it could be both, but if I was leaning more towards one, I would say it's definitely more towards a dream. Because
it's definitely a dream. $17 is just a dream right now. You gotta break 1 cent first. It used to be $5 at its maximum. We are still so far off at even reaching a penny. So we need to do a 100%. $1 plus, I mean, like, after a few years, maybe in 2031, with lots of burns, lots of utility, lots of demand, that would be amazing, but we're still so far off. Something is wrong with the markets right now. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and check what's up. Gonna get some rest, guys. Smash that like button. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to close these trades on 2-bit here. I'm going to close this one at a loss because I actually could keep it open until it closes out. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. And you close this one. It used to be 6% up, but I gotta check a bit better on my strategy here. Personally, I think there's could be a bounce back here. We could wait a bit more or be just stop loss, so it doesn't matter that much. But the order book is so small, it doesn't matter. So Jasmine used to be like a great thing. It just doesn't have enough hype. So just get back to 6 cents and 0.6 and I will be happy. Like, a lot of people wanted back at 6 cents. That's a 10x. It will never happen. It's a pretty clear idea right now that very, very, very weird crypto markets. I'm closing this with I'm not too sure if I close it with a loss. I'm closing this trade with a 2% loss. Yippee. Yippee to me. Because it has a similar pattern. You see, like, XRP I have right now, it's gonna close out the trade. Because right now, making trades is not so smart in my opinion. I still take trades to learn, like, but I'm 2% down. Now imagine if I had a $100,000 trade, I would be much, much more down. So if we take a look at Terra Luna Classic, like, it's been like, we got to look at the 4-hour charts, and it seems like it found some resistance level exactly as I predicted last time. I said if it does not find a resistance level, it's going to be a problem. And obviously, the only type, it's either a mini retail rally, that's what I call it, so like retail buying, or it could be like a full-on like whale buying in hopes of Terra Luna Classic going higher. Because it doesn't think it will go lower, because it's actually at almost the lowest point it could have been. So it kind of makes me think what is next for Terra Luna Classic is it's also going to be trading sideways. So now it found like it doesn't have enough volume to go up, but it also doesn't have enough volume to go down, right? And it could be trading sideways, could go a bit lower, a bit higher than that. This is the issue right now. I don't think it has, you know, enough volume. People are making videos about it, talking about it. If it can 10x, I mean, it would be awesome if it can 10x. It used to be much higher. So smash that like button if you haven't already. But when will Luna Classic pump again? Like, you have older videos, Terra Luna Classic. There is plans. There is plans for Terra Luna Classic, but like the hype is way, way, way smaller than used to be. It's way smaller.
You know, XRP, Solana, you know, what's very common for them because they are not meme coins. They need to have proven, you know, demand. They have to have proven utility. You can.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing that, you know, Terra Luna Classic is doing right now. It's doing burns in terms of like the utility it provides, but is that enough for people who just wanna, you know, buy maybe XRP or Ethereum for that price? That's why like people figured out, oh, I can just buy like an actual token with utility that people will use, and that is going to be way less risky. The one reason why people buy Terra Luna Classic is because it has way more upside. So yeah, I personally think that at this level, it has found a low after its low, after its low, after its low. And a small uptrend could be actually very smart here. That's why I'm going to open a long here for Terra Luna Classic.
Continues to dominate all these
on
other chains.
2bit.
So you got $69 billion worth of money. On Ethereum, Solana, you've got about 8.7 billion. Bitcoin's got some TVL action actually, 6.8 billion. And the other ones, you know, 6 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion. So it's still a lot of money on these chains. And if we have a look at Terra Classic, this is the area where we really could grow. So you can see right here, you got Terra 2. It's got about $7 million TVL, but look at this, Terra Classic,
650,000, that's absolutely nothing yet, right? So it's like a promise of what could happen.
Especially going to 2026. 2026, we want to see, look, we want to see big numbers. We want to see big numbers. We want to get back into the 6 digits for big.
This Terra Luna Classic has potential only if retail comes back. So that's the one time the Terra Luna Classic can win. If retail suddenly says, hey, let's go, let's, you know, double down on this. Let's go back here. That would be the exciting part, right? So I'm going to open a stop loss here for Terra Luna Classic on 2bit. And I'm going to take 25. I'm going to say if it goes 25%, 20% up, but it also goes, because it could go down. It could go way down. So this is going to be a very silly trade and something very stupid. Usually I don't take so much stop loss, but I honestly think it could get some downtrend at that point. And we're going to long it and see what happens, you know, and take that profit. $2 USDT, so it's going to be a $15 trade, or actually 15x, so $30 trade. And we're going to wait what happens with Terra Luna, because I do think right now it's just not enough volume for traders to trade on it. It's a bit, it's one of my smaller trades, and it's much more volatile. Look, it's already 1.5% up, right? That's why people love to trade it. Here, it really makes you wonder. So they want to take profit. I'm just going to wait for it here.
We got Michael Saylor, you know, buying more Bitcoin. And there's going to be some very interesting stuff. Probably one of the most interesting, things to watch out for is just the rise in unemployment. This is rising. AI is rising, and this is being a real disruptor to.
I'm doing my trades on 2-bit, which means I'm up now 2%. So yeah, up there. That's where I do it. I'm opening small trades, and I'm basically doing a challenge from $50. I'm up $11 now, so I'm 61. But we're gonna try to make it up to 1,000, or nah, that's too crazy. Even if we double it, that would be insane, because if you double it, it basically means you have a 100% win rate, right? So, small gains like this, like 2.66, when you think about it, like percentage-wise, that's already amazing. But the issue with this is this could be crashed out immediately. I said that that's the bottom for me. On the daily, on the majors there are really few alts that are above 50 EMA on daily, like Monero, Bitcoin, and Zcash. Yeah, I feel like that's because there's no retail. So because there's no retail, like it's only a few of them that will really do good.
We're also, honestly, not seeing a lot of indications that we will be able to do that. I mean, the markets in general are also very volatile. It's the holiday season for you. Today is also...
I think it's not the problem that it's holiday season. It's just like we're not getting the same hype, but also people aren't like mad enough to go into like a bear market. They're not afraid of the market because the market is good. When you look at the stock market data, the market is decent. It's like near all-time highs. But when you look at crypto, it works on its own, right? It will not follow like the other things. Like it just goes its own path.
To me, that there is some sort of short covering or there's some sort of spot buying coming in. Which one of the two it is, I don't really care much. It short term means the same. And fundamentally, it's always very interesting to look at this. Let's see if the ETF for XRP still getting inflows.
I mean, the inflows are great. 30 million, it seems like a lot. But when you think about what Bitcoin got, 1 billion, 2 billion, that's when it really makes price. Because you got to understand, like people keep selling 30 million like it's peanuts. They keep selling it overnight. Like in 1 hour, you could get that many sales. So even if it has spot ETF inflows, what people do is they just go sell it on the exchange or OTC. Like OTCs can sell it. So don't be that surprised if this is a good indicator. I think it's like a nice indicator if it's super positive. But 30 million, like people were talking, XRP holders were talking about 100 to 100 million.
Which I think we're going to fill, at least partially. So that will also matter for XRP.
For the average person.
But XRP BTC at the moment, so the relative strength of XRP against Bitcoin, has entered a very strong support level historically. Okay, also with, on the 3-day time frame, the 200 EMA. So we pushed down a little bit further than I would have wanted, but ultimately this...
I mean, we did bounce back, which is fine, right? We did bounce back from that. So that's good.
Does mean that we can at least expect a little...
Yo, Harleys, welcome to the stream. Am I in a trade? I'm going to open it right now. We're looking at the right path to make an XRP trade, but it's currently just, the market is completely sideways. How are you doing today? Welcome. The market is completely sideways, so we're just going to trade between 1.99 and 1.84. Until then, yeah, I agree. It's just going to be noise. Like we saw a huge dip here from 1.99 to 1.87, dropped further down to 1.78. So who knows? I could open a trade. I think it could go up and then pushed back. I should have actually kept it open over here. So if we look on the 5-minute chart, yeah, the charts are going up. But on a 5-minute chart, I'm still not too sure what's going to happen.
Little bit of outperformance, which is, by the way, also what we have seen since the Asian session so far. So all of that together makes me say, okay, we're bearish. So I don't see enough reasons at the moment to buy XRP. You really need, I mean, whenever the structure is bearish, you need a lot of confirmation, or
I mean, the whales don't want to buy, and the retail keeps buying because it's cheap. It's cheap for them at $2. So it makes you wonder, like, is it going to go up or down? And honestly, the correct answer to this is we don't know. This isn't a green enough flag ETF's buying to make it consider buying it like outright. This small candle, it's not enough for the big whales to take trades, so just retail is gonna buy, I guess. It's a scary, scary time. It really makes you wonder, where do we go from here? And personally, the trade I'm going to open right now is gonna be a very, very small one. Just for the sake of it, I'm gonna be opening a long. More off because I think this is gonna still bounce back maybe to 1.93, and that's it. That's the only thing I need to know. So here we can see I have a position open now because I think 1.93 maybe-ish over here. We could push back to above these ranges, but it's gonna be a nice start. So obviously very, like, already a bit profitable here. Let's check what else we have. We do have, I want to make some price predictions on Terra Luna Classic as well. Terra Luna Classic. So we have spot over here. Elon Musk's AI makes absurd price prediction. We saw so many. XRP never seen anything like this.
Coinbase just made a shocking announcement, which is sending ripples through the entire crypto market for the as well.
So Coinbase launches stock trading. I mean, it's pretty clear a lot of these crypto companies want to get another tap like Robinhood. We saw what they did. They went into crypto, but now crypto companies are doing vice versa, and they're coming into stocks. Maybe there's not enough volume for them. You know, they want to expand further from just crypto coins, want to expand in stocks where there's way more volume. But it's pretty clear here that, you know, what they're doing right now is because people will use it.
Additionally, tokenized stocks integrate with DeFi, serving as collateral for lending, borrowing, and yield strategies, which multiplies on-chain interactions and further accrues value to the base. So many more talent.
Okay, so it seems like they're going what? Doing different things, infrastructure tokens. I don't really understand what this has to do with XRP. Tokenized stocks integrate. Well, tokenized stocks are something that's big for XRP, something that XRP is going to double down. But that's going to be 2027, the first time we even hear about it. So don't expect this to change the price. Like RWA, it's cool. We love it. It's lovely, but it's not gonna make the main thing. It's not gonna be the big factor in terms of price revenue. If the whales on 2bit, if the whales keep buying, like we can even look at the order book. What I really like about 2bit though, and I guess exchanges in general, you can actually see what people are buying. So you have the data available. Like you can see some guy bought 6K of XRP at 1.91. And then another guy sold 2.4K. Some guy bought 5K, sold 5K. It really makes a lot of sense because if you look at the liquidity books, you kind of have a big resistance level. Like right now on the, what it is, 1 day chart. What is this? This is like 10, 15 buy sell orders. It's a lot of 50-50. Like the community is undecided. You can see exactly what's happening. At 0.01 cent, there is 270 million, or no, actually that's 8 million size for a sum of 260 million. Okay. Okay, so a huge margin here and a huge margin there. Seems like they're fighting for it. Definitely makes me wonder what's going to happen there. I'm probably... You know, I'm still like, there's not really that much of a momentum. Like we saw this breakdown like this on the small time frame, 1.94 to 1.91. We're exactly at the resistance here. So I'm expecting a pullback in my personal opinion. I'm expecting actually not a pullback, I'm expecting it to go up shortly. So we could open a small trade here. 5%. Let's take a 15%, and if it goes below 3, we can stop loss it, and that's perfect. Now we open the trade on 2-bit. You can join me as well if you want. So let me check here. Seems like we're down 1% already, but I do have a stop loss at exactly 3%.
It's gonna be insane, guys.
2%.
This is such a huge step forward. I cannot tell you guys.
I feel like this is really slow when this happens.
Products that I'll agree. We would
Gaining hundreds of trillions additional market capitalization. Like, again, this is pretty niche right now. But this is what could spiral into another bull run rally. This is what keeps me excited.
want to just play this clip real quick because this is going to have a huge impact on the amount of available liquidity in Americans' pockets, and of course the amount of money that's going to flow into XRP in the short term. And this.
So yeah, we got to close this trade because seems like, you know, even the whales, they are having too much pressure right now. They're adding too much pressure to XRP. Obviously, it went up immediately as I said that. Seems like a huge whale bot. That's why you need to stick to the plan. When you're sleep deprived, it doesn't work. But you kind of see here, the whales are trying to push back up, but I'm just seeing a more and more of same scenarios of like market pressure.
This is really
like
going to
whale
help us. So
selling.
I'm just going to play this clip real quick, and then we'll get into what it means and another big piece of news too.
Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time.
The largest tax refund season of all time. You know, tax refund seasons are really important because, of course, there's a massive influx, you know, billions and billions of dollars that gets back in the hands of consumers.
This is what we need. We need another retail rally, basically.
Things to really start reversing in a meaningful way where we can actually start touching new highs. But it might be a little bit later than that too, which is totally okay. I mean, I have an amazing runway here, you know, understanding what's happening between tax refunds, QE, and of course the tokenization of the stock market to accumulate XRP at the current prices they're at right now, below $2.
I mean, this would be good. This would be good. It doesn't seem like anything from my analysis that indicates that we are getting a bull run this year, because there's like 9 days left anyway.
Per coin. To me, that is an amazing blessing, and that is the best Christmas gift that I could possibly ever have. So yeah, that's exactly what I am doing. And listen, in my Discord, which of course you guys can all join, link down below. Once again, join the Discord and subscribe to join the $20,000 bet that I mentioned earlier. I will be posting all of my trades in that Discord as well. 7%.
So yeah, US inflation falls to 2.7%, lower expectations. So seems like all we're missing now is retail, and until retail comes, these whales can just sell it for profit. So that's what we have right now. Let's check another price prediction. I usually love price predictions. Do we have one for Terra Luna Classic? We have one, some bullish sign for XRP, Ripple, XRP prediction and news. I actually prefer, to see some Ethereum as well. We could check that. Come on, let's check this.
Market rise. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Linux Crypto.
So yeah, Linux Crypto is something I've been watching, but I've been trying to learn properly to do proper analysis, not just watch video guys, because that's what I usually do when you're sleep deprived. You just watch videos, but you have to learn to take proper trades, and smash that like button. That will really help me out. So Ripple XRP had some good news on analysis. I don't watch news that much as I do analysis now, because it's actually a real skill. Once you understand the candles, the charts, that's when you can actually start learning how to ride the wave and make profit from it. Even in bear markets. Again, everything is risky in life. But that's what my plan is right now, to understand what's happening with XRP. Why is it going down? Is it because of some stupid news? And how can I win from this in the end, even if it goes down?
And that definitely is a possibility. But until that has happened, and at this point of time, that has not happened.
On XRP daily, $1.8 was the range where back in April we pivoted Then we create a high of 2.64, and in June at $2 range to 3.66 yearly high. So until XRP regains $2 range for uptrend or lose 180, in between just noise. I fully agree. I fully agree on this one. Actually, I do agree. So if we look here, exactly what it was, $2. This chart is actually very fresh. But yeah, the point is we're just trading sideways right now. And that's the issue. If you're trading sideways, it's a bit harder to take these trades, you know, like on the sideways chart. I'm kind of worried taking sideways because it could go like suddenly 1.8 to 1.9. These are going to be my ranges. But until then, I'll just probably wait it out. Seeing like 2-bit over here. We can check what happens. So 1.8 and $2 range is about over here. Yeah. We saw some like they tried to form some levels. That's 2.7. So let me go put the $2 here. And these are actually, yes, the levels we are having right now. So once we got to 1.78, which was basically the first support level, we got absolutely, you know, pushed back. Every time we hit 1.87, 78 or whatever it is, I didn't check that. I think it was 1.87 here, pushed back, dropped to a new low of 1.78, pushed back. So seems like, but it actually needs to stay below 1.8 to crash.
We're shocked to any of you guys that XRP has seen an insane amount of manipulation as of recently, and so has the rest of the crypto market. Institutions have been liquidating billions upon billions of dollars of people's positions nearly every single day. And
this is the worst. Like, a lot of people have been trading wrong. They've been trading like, you know, risky. There's no free money, guys. There's absolute risk. I personally trade on 2-bit. Link in the description below if you want to join me for an XRP competition. But it's pretty clear when you see candles like this, a lot of traders get liquidated. For the whales. The whales are the ones profiting off that.
Now we're seeing something absolutely crazy potentially about to take place with the Supreme Court ruling against Trump's tariffs, basically saying they are illegal, which would cause the Trump administration to have to refund the billions and billions of dollars that they took in. And I do think that this is going to cause some absolutely insane manipulation once again, like we have seen on 1010 and some other massive days. And so this is precisely what I want to talk about. But there's a lot of moving parts, and I think that a lot of people are glossing over this whole tariff Supreme Court situation and how it affects the crypto market, and they're focusing a lot more on what the Trump administration is doing relating to crypto directly, even though, ironically, I think the tariff situation is going to be much more impactful, and I'll explain why in just a minute. The Trump administration has says that we are now closer than ever to pausing the landmark crypto market structure legislation.
So yeah, again, so much stuff, so much talk, but the prices are telling us a clear story. We're going down. Well, the prices should be going up. We're doing the exact opposite, right? We're going just down, down, down.
This is great. People want more clarity when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption.
I mean, yeah, but this is going to be 2026, 2027. This is going to take a long time. It's not going to be overnight.
Insane what is currently going on. Right now, there's a 72% chance the Supreme Court is going to rule against.
This is not like a percentage-wise. This is what people are betting on Polymarket, which is a gambling and a risky thing. So it's not like there's 70% of chance of it happening. It either is or isn't. The real thing here is what we're having to do is, you know, just it's like a mess right now with politics, and it's a mess with everything else. And what we're seeing right now is, you know, the market is reacting. The market is obviously reacting from 3.66 to 1.91. It's a down 50% all-time high. So maybe we could be entering a mini recession, like in terms of not like 2022, in terms of XRP really not doing what it wants to be doing, just going sideways until people lose some hope.
All my trades, and on top of that, you'll be entered into the bet. The link for my website, LeviCryptoCrusaders.com, is down below and thereafter. So
yeah, just in 3 billion worth of Ethereum on options expired today. And this is what I'm telling you guys. A lot of these traders for XRP, you know, a lot of them got liquidated exactly 3.66. And this is where a huge whale sold 2.83 to 2.3. If you guys want to join me on 2bit, link in the description below as well. I'm currently taking some trades, but I'm waiting for the right time to do this.
So once again, just prepare for more extreme levels of volatility. That much is pretty much certain.
I mean, for Christmas, usually this is like the worst bear market during December. Usually December was great, was all looking fine, but suddenly we have a big drop.
Right now, keep a very close laser eye focused on the Supreme Court ruling. Now, once again, I just want to cover the 50-week and 100-week SMA because it just looks so much like what we saw back here in 2021 and 2022, guys. I mean, right here in 2021, we broke below the 50-week SMA for XRP. XRP dipped below this, and that was the start of the bear market, okay? After we broke below, we then broke below the 100-week SMA, the orange line right here, and then we found our bottom, and then eventually we recovered and we went to the next bull run once we broke above the 50-week again, right?
So yeah, it does seem like we are going different patterns because now a lot of whales can sell as they bought at a cheaper price, 0.3 to 0.5. They can just dump it until it's back at $1.
Look at where we are today. We broke below the 50-week. We are rapidly approaching the 100-week SMA. We have all of these huge catalysts right on the back burner here. You know, we have a lot of insane institutional involvement to our detriment in some cases. And the markets are extremely fearful right now.
Xmas run up would only be liquidity run, and a lot of people been shorting XRP. I agree. I feel like they were shorting the whole market. Welcome to the stream. This is the problem we're having right now. Everyone is just shorting everything in this like type of the year. But you know, historically, if we look at the price data, December should be the time of the year where prices went up, right? In December. So this is the most important factor. But whales are selling, and the price indicates that since 11th November. And they will keep selling more until they sell more and more.
We're in extreme fear once again. People are very uncertain of where this is going to go.
Welcome. Yeah, so what's uncertain about it is, can it hold the as I was telling you guys, 1.91 range? This is going to be an important range. You can see some sell-offs here. You can find the low here at 1.77. Exactly the resistance level. I know my chart is a bit weird here, but this is the chart that a lot of people are super worried. If we go below 1.77, if we can hold above this rate, 1.9, it's still going to be looking good because like a massive whale sold and it seems like we got like some sort of a bounce back here. That's going to be great. But it's very, very obvious that right now a lot of people are going to be selling it off, are bearish on XRP.
The 100-week SMA in 2022 was 67 cents. We eventually bottomed out, around 31 cents per XRP. So we went approximately 50% below the 100-week SMA, which would put XRP just below $1 in this event if we did the same.
So yeah, this is absolutely terrible. So what we're seeing right now is like we're comparing the prices to what they used to be in the past. The only time it was worse was when we were in a recession. So I don't think it's looking that great.
But I doubt it's going to repeat the exact same way. It's just we're now below the 50-week SMA, which is kind of the bear market indicator, and we have a lot of crazy negative catalysts, which could definitely push the markets lower based off of all of the historical examples that we've seen with conflicts like the Venezuela conflict, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, a prime example, and of course everything else that's going on here. So yeah, overall, I do think that there is a lot to look out for here, all of which I will be once again talking about every single day in my Discord, giving you guys my play-by-play.
So yeah, you guys understand that we are like, he's saying that we would be same moving average, but this is the weekly moving average here. This is a much different time, as there was way less users here than it is now in 2025. So it makes me wonder, like, the volume will be much higher and the volatility is also going to be much higher. You can't use the past charts to gather you can gather data, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't mean like suddenly because it happened in the past in 2021 when there was much more retail that suddenly a lot of these people will be moving back there. Like, it doesn't make any sense at this point, and it keeps me kind of worried. A very quick update today, guys, about XRP, about everything we have to know for the prices today. It's been a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. Seems like a downtrend, and we're trying to retest the key areas right now. You can see 1.90, at least 1.87 to 1.9. These are the key areas we're seeing right now.
The last couple of hours, this morning especially, but also a little bit in the Asian session. So we'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about the higher time.
Smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. But look at this big dump when you go on a 5-minute chart, 30-minute chart. Like, even if you look at a 30-minute chart, it's these big dumps from the whales are in fact happening. And you can obviously see that a lot of these whales are uncertain where XRP goes from here.
Time frame possibilities. Because obviously if you watch my XRP videos, but also if you are analyzing XRP actively, you know the critical level. And that is this level right here, around $2. So then let's say 1.98 into 2.02. On the higher time frames, we need to reclaim that if we want to get stability, right? So if we want to break the downtrend, which we are in right now, if you look at the daily, if you look at the 12-hour, 4-hour technically also still, although the 4-hour time frame downtrend does seem to be breaking. And
I mean, I feel like that a lot of these whales are retesting key areas for XRP right now. Like, they just don't feel like it's a big thing like we saw before.
4-hour technically also still.
So yeah, it is a very worrying factor of what XRP is becoming, especially staying 1.97 could be scary. Could mean that it's going to get lower at this point, you know, and lower because nobody will want to buy it for 1.92. Doesn't that scare you a bit?
I do think that's most likely. But higher time frames, we want to break the downtrend, we want to get stability, we want to have a chance to rally again into 2.2, into 2.35, 2.4. And the only way we can do that is reclaim $2. Now, first of all, I do not think that's going to happen this weekend. Okay, I would be surprised.
We did get a small Christmas bull run rally, which is super nice. And smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It does seem like right now XRP is in early stages of retesting the key areas. So a push higher does seem likely. But if we do not get this push higher until end of January, we could be heading downstairs. We could be heading towards a downtrend.
I never want to say it's completely impossible, but I would say it's unlikely if you look at the way that XRP has moved basically all weekends in the past couple of weeks, and also if you consider the time of the year, okay?
And also, guys, if you haven't already, I'm trading on 2bit. If you want to join me, link in the description below, because I am gonna open a long for XRP right now, and this is gonna be a long-term long. So the stop loss here is gonna be a bit more crazy, because I really don't like if the stop loss is like 10%. And then we are basically dropping. So a 10% stop loss, which I usually don't do, to be fair. And then I'm going to be opening a 25%, up rate, which means that XRP needs to go to 1.95, which kind of makes sense here. So if we go 15% stop loss and we can open a small trade here, I think that's a pretty fair estimation when you look at it. Like, we could just do this one. That's absolutely perfect, right? We're already down 1%. But at least for the long key ranges, we could be seeing something small from XRP. If you want to get started trading, link in the description below as well.
It's just very illiquid. There's not a lot going on in the market right now.
Exactly. Nobody's buying these ETFs. Like long term, I'm slightly bearish, but short term, I feel like we could at least get a Christmas rally right in the next 5 days.
Although XRP's volume is quite high, so that's then a plus in XRP's favor. Now, briefly talking about fundamentals, I try to keep you updated on fundamentals, but they don't always matter for the price.
I feel like, all the fundamentals are out the roof because we were waiting for Christmas. We were waiting for a massive XRP rally. And what we got instead is a little bull run canceled, right? Very scary.
Action and for the price direction. We've had a full week of XRP ETF inflows though, totaling, what is it, like $70-80 million this week. Not bad. Right now, cumulative, we have almost $1 billion of inflows, I think. Yeah, $950 million. So definitely not bad. But like I said, we haven't seen a major impact in the markets yet. And well, let's now get to the technical. So technically, it's looking a little bit better for XRP. That's for multiple reasons. I think Bitcoin looks a little bit better. I think Bitcoin, for the first time in the last week, actually has a chance to get some sustained or sustainable bullish momentum. Which is obviously something last week we could only dream of. We had some bullish momentum, but it was never sustained. So if you want to know more about that, check out my Bitcoin video. I mean,
So yeah, bullish momentum for XRP or towards downtrend. I think a downtrend is more likely, especially because we're getting rate cuts and they just aren't doing enough. Like, what are rate cuts really doing right now? They're not saving the market at all, and it keeps me very worried because it tells obviously to the whales we need to start selling. You can even see my position since I made the video is down 5%. So I'm a bit tired and sleepy. I'd rather just close it at a loss than see what's happening. But again, I'll keep you guys up. Link in the description below to join me on 2bit. It seems pretty clear that the XRP right now, has been doing different things. Like a lot of YouTubers have been talking about XRP. Let's check Crypto Levi. So I saw this. I love Clinics. I watched him for some time, but it seems like Solana is like trying to build its own treasury. It's trying to not just become a meme coin type of coin. It's trying to go further ahead and do the next thing. Like, be its own factor. So I'm definitely really excited on what Solana can do because yeah, it does have the community. It's missing some of the products yet. Again, how many cryptos have their own Solana phone? I feel like crypto gaming is not that big as people claim it to be. Like, I know a lot of people like Alex Becker claim gaming is big, and I think it is. I think it's very good. So don't take me for granted here. I just feel like it's going to take some time for, all this stuff to be integrated into games. I think a lot of people will not accept it and not want to integrate it, but it's already in some way, just not involving crypto in general. So what's next for Solana is trying to go more corporate way, treasuries. From what I saw, Solana phone, which people literally bought the phone and resold it because it had free Doge on it during the bull run. That's what I remember. So they made every phone they bought, they made $100. So if you bought 20 Solana phones, you literally made $200 and sent it to one wallet.
Of amazing,
on each phone.
Developments for Solana-based projects. So fundamentally, I do think that the range that we have built right here between 144 and 126 will hold. And that's an opportunity in my opinion, because I think short term, with Bitcoin being a little bit weaker, with a lot of data this week, we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment rates, for example, this week, today, to be fair. We have CPI data on Thursday. That can cause a lot of volatility. So I think with that volatility, and this is also something I told you last time, we can spike down quite aggressively, right? We can spike down into this area right here between 125, which we have already done, and 115. So when we spike down into that, It depends on the news, right? I mean, if the news is very bad, like if we get unemployment rates that's higher than expected, that's bad.
I mean, this is good. Unemployment rate, awesome, amazing, but we gotta check what Solana is actually doing, like the products, the prices on the chart. I'm not looking at macro trends, I'm looking at the data. Are the whales buying and selling? And guys, if you want to get started on Solana with me, link in the description below. I am trading on 2bit. I'm doing a challenge with also a trading bot, which again is not guaranteed profit, but seems like there was a rally up here, 270, and it's now at 120. And I don't think, at least personally, I think the worst case scenario was literally over. I don't think we're going to see $20 anymore. But it does mean a lot of whales who bought Solana for $20 are going to keep selling it at 270 and 120. So expect some long-term positions like profit taking at around these levels. You know, they bought it, they maybe didn't buy it at 20 and they bought it at like 82. And a lot of these whales, in my opinion, are going to take the profit. 155% profit at that matter. So let's say they bought it here. They made 200% profit, and now they're selling it even for 78% profit. It kind of makes sense. Link in the description below as well. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below. Click register to participate and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me. Link in the description below. So yeah, it kind of makes sense right now that Solana whales are gonna take that juicy profit.
Down into this area right here between 125, which we have already done, and 115. So when we spike down into that, it depends on the news, right? I mean, if the news is very bad, like if we get unemployment rates.
So yeah, I think that's major macro markets, but overall, it's... we could be going a bit further down. Like this is where clinics and I are a bit different. I am saying we could go a bit further down depending on the major macro markets. That's true. That's the same thing he said. But I don't think that 60, below 60 is gonna be like the bottom. Like it is gonna be gonna go lower than 55, 60. From what data you're asking me? I'm always looking at support levels. And again, this might be old candles, so don't take me for granted. These are candles from 23, but when you look at crypto, a lot of people check their wallets. So we can use new data. We can literally use data from August. We can use data from June. Because you're going to say 23, that's too old, right? And you're going to see here, 6th of April this year, this was the bottom, 103. So yeah, it could go further down from 123 to 100. Do we know? We don't know. But it gives you a pretty clear idea of what's going to happen. I'll keep you guys updated with more news, but this is what we have for now, for Solana at least. Ripple XRP has been, you know, it's been absolutely going wild, but at some point, the whales will be like, hey, that's cheap. It's holding critical levels. Let's sell it out. Let's sell everything. Let's start buying again, because these levels are what I like to buy. So yeah, guys, what do you personally think? I think it's a pretty awesome idea. I think XRP has amazing price potential right now, and we're gonna be seeing more pretty much soon as well. Let's sell. So smash that like button and peace everyone. Craziest news yet. This really caught my attention. 2bit Crypto posted this. So what's happening with XRP is this news really crazy, or is it just priced in? Because I feel like a lot of stuff is priced in at this point.
That may be playing out favorably into a 2026 big move for XRP. Go ahead, smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button by turning that notification bell to all as well. You don't want to miss a live stream and our daily content that we're putting out for you guys. So with that being said, let's get into it. So I thought it was worth starting at the core foundations of what Ripple is all about. We broke recently that there is some big partnerships and some big companies using a lot of these that already are integrating with Ripple. Well, 100 banks.
So yeah, this is the big thing that other exchanges cannot do. Smash that like button, guys. And what Ripple is doing and is why people are watching Ripple is because they have the power that nobody else has. Again,
Recently that there
they
is some
are the big partner in terms of like working with banks. And again, this is what a lot of these crypto coins want to do. But if you don't have the connections, it's going to be hard, very hard. So yeah, XRP is going big on this.
Besant announcing that we may see stimulus checks heading out to US citizens in Q1 of 2026 is the first tick in the box that the key elements of driving markets higher is about to play out. Everyone assumed it would be later on in the year. Scott Bessent looks like he's going to push liquidity into the market. And right now, for me, that is the one big thing that we need. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, it doesn't matter. Liquidity is the big driver. And in an institutionally driven market right now, this would be a very welcome injection. Now, there are also some things that we need to be aware of that I think are playing out behind closed doors. Disclaimer, this is a speculation thought process I've gone through, but I want to get your thoughts down in the comments. We know back from Ripple Swell that NASDAQ chair and CEO Adina Friedman joined Ripple president Monica Long to discuss
potential of digital assets and on-chain finance. I mean, yeah, this is awesome. It is good, but it's going to take a massive, massive time before we see any further development at that point.
It's got to do with the crypto market. All of the ETF products that we have seen, all the latest ETFs for XRP, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they trade on the NASDAQ. And this is going to be a big news. So imagine the fact that not only can you trade crypto 24/7 on all your favorite exchanges, you may even be able to trade XRP ETFs for 23 hours a day. And talking about exchanges, don't forget, check out BitUnix. All over the world.
So yeah, you kind of get the idea, guys, is we got to do a price prediction here. Whales have now been frustrated because the huge rally, the second rally we had back in July that came a bit early, got stopped out at 3.66. So again, inflation induced, it's not fully, full on bull rally. It's not $4, it's not $5, and I don't think it's going to be happening this rally. Is it better than, December 2021? Obviously. It's way better than that. It's way more people watching. It has the potential, but it's going to be a slow grind from here until Bitcoin does something. And again, I'm going to take a trade, guys, on XRP as well. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below, click register to participate, and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me, link in the description below. So yeah, it makes a pretty clear idea right now that the craziest news we have is NASDAQ. And guys, I was telling you back in some time ago, is XRP is becoming a big, big thing. As XRP going on, the public stock is probably going to be the first crypto company in the history that's going public, except if we don't count the exchanges like Coinbase, right?
The percent of people to get in, if we see
so they're not going to be just tied to XRP prices. They're not going to be tied to XRP prices. They're trying to get tied with the global economy.
Mass adoption from the banking sector, finance sectors, and many other people. Well, this could be the moment that XRP truly rallies up. Young-Hoon King, one of the biggest IQ holders of XRP, does in fact say that XRP may be a strong move following the Japanese rate.
Okay, so this is the thing. XRP has a big, big support from Japan and Korea, not the countries, don't get me wrong, from the traders. And this is a lot of volume, big whales there. So again, another W for XRP. Great, great news. The whale buyers are so, this is just like spam comments anyway. But you get the idea is that Japan and XRP, again, they're focused on technology. They don't care about the XRP coin. Actually, I think XRP Ripple, while Ripple is focusing away from the coin and focusing more on being a better product in terms of technology. And this is what I like to see, because they realized that a lot of these crypto companies have now went bankrupt once the bear market hits because they cannot make revenue, or they have to keep selling millions of dollars of coins. They want to be profitable and use XRP just as a payment tool. So it kind of makes sense, guys. It definitely makes sense that XRP is going to stay here for the long run. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. And if you guys want to join me, join on 2bit. I'm going to be opening a long here for XRP because it does seem like 1.87 is the bounce back. Of course, always take a stop loss, guys. Bam, $2, and we're going to take a trade. So I'm going to be back in the next video, and let me know what you guys think. If inflows remain strong despite tough market conditions.
So according to the big
XRP news today, pretty awesome news overall.
Bitcoin quarterly returns, as you can see for yourself, we are seeing, pretty much the most bearish Q4 since.
This is one of the worst Q4s. Like, Christmas is canceled, guys. This is since 2018. Like, December should be the positive year all around, but suddenly, like, we're getting promises of a massive bear market, and it's just not happening yet.
Since 2018, again, and obviously 2018, one thing we gotta kind of keep in mind was a bear market, and these
2018, like, and that was a smaller market. Now it's bigger. And smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Now we're seeing a bigger bear market, and it's becoming more and more scary. XRP, I predicted this right. We're further downtrend until something we need a major catalyst to see XRP push outwards. It's making lower lows for the past 5 month-ish. Seems like we are entering a bear market, my friends. It's becoming a very big problem. This is why I'm still bearish, because the whales are still taking profit, and they're going to take profit until like $1, $1.5. This is literally, they can just take profit because they're still going to be in the green. So yeah, all the way from 3.66, they can just DCA sell, right? Because they bought it at 0.4 cents. You see huge whale buys at 0.7. They can just sell it for double.
Valuation in 2018 for the broader market was very low compared to where we are right now. So again, still about I would say week and a half left for the year of 2025 to come to an end. So we'll see.
I mean, a week and a half, I don't think anything is going to change.
How that ends up playing out. But welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP family. Thank you so much for all the love that you guys show on these regular day-to-day updates. If you're looking at XRP's price right now, it's up about 2%, give or take. But we're seeing about a 60-40 split, meaning 60% of the market is seeing a little bit of a bounce, remainder 40 still lagging, as you can see across the board. But again, if you're looking at the price of XRP, $1.91 as of recording this update, up one.
I mean, it's changing so much, but it seems like pretty clear that the macro trend is negative at this point. It makes me kind of afraid because, well, I understand it can't hold 366, but it can't even hold 1.73, 1.87. If it goes below here, I'm still going to be scared. This is like the first support line. I've been telling you guys about support lines. 1.87 is the support line for XRP, and it's right above these levels. It's forming higher lows, and it's going to continue. Notice how 1.87, it got stopped out at April. How a big whale sold here at 2.8. I got to check the order books as well, but you get a pretty clear idea of what's happening. And I'm using 2bit, guys, by the way, link in the description below if you want a free XRP bonus and a competition. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below, click register to participate, and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me, link in the description below. So yeah, here we go.
1.3% on the Bitcoin side of things. Valuation $116.1 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at 2.7 billion. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So even though we're seeing, a nice bounce for majority of the market, I want you guys to, not forget what's happening over the last 1 week and, of course, over the last 1 month. Again, on the monthly time frame, XRP price is down about 17% as of now. But let's take a look at, the spot volume. So again, we did see about 20 million, pretty much same to,
I mean, 20 million. Yeah, it's nice. But look at Bitcoin, $1 billion. $1 billion is pretty much the way of the game where no Santa Claus rally, XRP holding on to the RIP 1000 XRP. That would be awesome. I mean, I would love a Santa Claus rally, but it does not seem like it's gonna happen with one week left, basically. It just does not seem likely.
Where we were yesterday for the XRP spot ETF volume, but again the streak continues, and not only that, focus on this right here. Solana and XRP spot ETF saw net inflows. So Bitcoin saw an outflow, Ethereum saw an outflow, Solana about 3.6 million. Out of all these four, who's coming at the top? XRP once again.
XRP wins in terms of like 10 million flows, Solana 3.64, Ethereum 220 million, Bitcoin 227. I mean, those are big whale games, but look, we were in billions. We're in billions during the bear market, like bull run. It doesn't seem like that's happening now.
Tom Lee has, just dropped a massive reminder, despite all the uncertainty around price levels right now, the fundamentals have never looked stronger. With pro-crypto US legislation, Wall Street building on blockchain, and market 200x larger still untapped, the runway is huge. According to Tom Lee, in crypto, the best years are definitely ahead. And again, it's not rocket science either, because when you just make the comparison as far as the markets are concerned, we're still seeing crypto very low in terms of market cap. I know people always make comparison to the bull market of 2021 or the bear market days and early 2016 levels and so on and so forth. That was the wild west when it comes to crypto. But now the landscape is shifting. I can personally think we're not actually in the wild west.
I think like the issue is, yes, crypto is becoming more stable, but I also think that the gains that people were seeing before are going to become less and less at this point. We're going to see less gains. We're going to see less profit, as people were wondering. It's gonna not be as the same as like 2021, because we are preparing for retail. That's also possible.
Anymore. We're actually kind of getting away.
Like, you can kind of see the retail was not here yet, and we were expecting retail, and there was no retail. It was mostly institutions which are buying, but they're buying for retail to buy. Like, retail could be here in 2-3 years. It doesn't even have to be now. They're just going to keep buying and buying and buying.
Away from that, you could pretty much argue that altcoins are still in that category, but we're talking about the big boys. We are kind of shifting out of that and, going into the mainstream media. And obviously,
this is good to see, but I still feel crypto is very, very niche when you think about it. It's not even close to being the big key player yet.
Financial sector when it comes to this market that is emerging, at a very fast pace. Not only that, we just don't want to be forgetting. Just kind of compare, some of the equity. To me.
So ETF will purchase more than 100 on new supply of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana institution demands. I mean, they kind of have to hold BTFs. We saw these buys already when they got it for cheap at 45 cents. They don't have to hold anymore. So this is, the real deal. And I'm kind of worried, are we ever going to be going back to 2021? 2021 was peak crypto. Can we even hit back like something like that?
We are finding ourselves below the key support line once again, but we're sitting at...
So yeah, it does seem like it's trying to retest this area, as I told you guys. I'm going to wait it out now, because it's not a safe trade. I don't think it's a safe trade, and I don't like to make a trade that I don't feel is safe. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to assess my risk. I'm already down 18 cents today. You can join me on 2bit. Link in the description below, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the waiting game here. But we do have some best news so far. News. We do have 2 more videos on the line.
Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. So according to the Bitcoin Core.
So yeah, Crypto ZX, what's next for the price? This one is what I really love.
Went over what is happening as far as the broader market is concerned. But we're going to touch a little bit more specifically on LUNC to see what's going on. As you can see across the board, again, some coins ranging down up even to 12%. But, we're pretty much down from a 5% all the way up to, 12 to 13%, depending on what coin you're looking at. But again, the broader market down and, quite a significant pullback as we started off the week. If you're looking at...
It's not been looking good for Terra Luna Classic, but this rally really pushes forward. I mean, a lot of people said, oh, this is whale manipulation when we saw this a few weeks ago. No. Some whale had to buy very, very big. At least they got a small rally. They didn't get much for years. They just got sideways trading to the point where people sold off and left at a loss. Now, finally, we're getting some news, right? So smash that like button if you're a Luna Classic supporter, because I did make a prediction, like downtrend is possible. But I was caught. I was caught away with how well Terra Luna Classic did right now. And that is, we're seeing here on 2bit that I am going to be opening a long at that point. So a smart long would be possible. Again, I do think it's going to drop a bit lower to find a new low. So I'm just going to open it right here with a profit stop loss, 15, 10, 2% stop loss. So we're going to be seeing here, bam. So sell a short, 2%, 15, open the short, and that's it, and sell it. So yeah, it does make sense to open a small stop loss here. I already opened it if you guys didn't know. Obviously, I could be totally wrong, and we will get just stop lossed out because it's already 1%. It seems like it's rallying back up. It's trying to find a new ground on where to go from here. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below, click register to participate, and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me, link in the description below. So yeah, let's check
LUNC,
this.
it is also down about 2.8% with the price currently sitting at 39.62, still 4 zeros in front of the price. But on the Bitcoin side of things, we're actually up a little bit, about 0.3%. Valuation still holding above 200 million, to be exact, $217 million as of recording this update, and the 24-hour trading volume at 42.9 million. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, focus on the dominance. And again, I've talked to you guys about the dominance every single day of the week. And, that's something we kind of want to be looking at, as to, what's really going on. So as far as the dominance is concerned, see for yourself, we're currently sitting at 59.17%. And, we've...
So look at this. I like this Bitcoin price analysis, but it does seem like a downtrend is happening. Because if Bitcoin can hold up, I can assure you Luna Classic cannot either. It's just because the whales get afraid and sell everything.
As we started off a new week, because Bitcoin was literally sitting at a level where it could have either broke back into the 0.50 or we are going to be retesting, this 86K key range. But that's what ended up happening. And you can see, we retested this key range for the first time since the beginning of the month. And as long as the price of, Bitcoin is able to remain above 86K key range, that's good. We need to gradually obviously make our way back into the 0.50. But if we, drop below here, as I stated before, the chances of us retesting, December 1st lows are definitely on the table, which we actually almost retested today as well. But if you're looking at LUNC coin, so of course it's down once again a little bit more, from where we were yesterday. And again, obviously the entire market kind of going down is not really helping LUNC. But
I mean, Terra Luna Classic is really like it had 3 years to build. And at this point, a lot of people who will stay here, like they're diamond hands. They're not going to sell for nothing. So that counts for something. Like the price analysis we have here, it tells you a pretty clear story. A lot of the retail, they sold out. But some of the whales, some of the whales are selling and making their money, which is fine. This is how crypto works. I've been saying this for 5 years now. But it kind of makes you wonder, what's the next plan, right? What's the next plan for XRP here for Terra Luna Classic? And obviously, we saw these patterns again and again. 0.27, 0.23. It's forming lower lows until when is the bottom? It kind of makes me afraid. Meme coins got completely destroyed.
Is,
and Terra Luna Classic got completely destroyed this cycle.
Overall performance on the 24-hour scale better than the broader market, because if you look at the large caps right now, large caps are down 5-10%. So obviously LUNC is not considered a large cap, and it's down, of course, but it's not seeing 8 to 9% pullback, which kind of tells you something specific. And what I'm trying to get at is, because let's face it, this thing has pretty much been in this downwards trajectory over the last 1 week almost. Again, if you want to put this into perspective, you could see for yourself, LUNC has gone down 42.4%. So it has pretty much been already in this downwards trajectory, while the entire market was still hovering, with Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was sitting at the likes of $90,000. But, we did see LUNC pretty much start to make its way towards the downside since then. But again, with that said, there is significant support that we're currently sitting at right now. If this does not hold, as I stated to you guys before, the 3,300 zone that is on the table as of now, we're being still supported by that key range, but the 3,300 zone is a 13% pullback. So if we lose this support, from where
this is what I've been telling you guys. Again, how can we hold this support? I already got I already got a stop loss, right? Because it seems like some support is building, but it's not strong enough to go further back down. It's gonna look very bad if this, all this rally gets negated.
We currently are. That is the next key target to be looking forward to for LUNC. But today, obviously, as we started off a new week, the broader market, as we stated, has gone down. But you're looking at LUNC. Of course, it's also down, but it's not seeing 8-9% pullback, and that kind of ties back to what I just said. It has already seen, a 42% pullback over the last 6 days alone.
So 6 days alone, but it did see also a huge rally. So you got to consider that. Further down, it needs to hold this key area or it's gonna look bad. Let's take a look at what's happening for XRP. 1.86, bad news for XRP. Right now, I have a position open on XRP. Should I open a position as well on Luna Classic? I think so. A lot of these whales sold it out.
NC holders. Today was a very interesting day in the cryptocurrency market.
If you check here, I said it's gonna continue to go downtrend. It was 2nd December, but we did see a massive rally. So I was wrong on that part. I was actually wrong, and I want to apologize. I said we're going to get... I didn't expect this rally, and this was kind of pretty big because we hit a new support level, basically the best all-time high this year, which makes you consider there's tons of burns. People were telling me down in the comments, there are burns, there are things that, make Terra Luna Classic still out there. It's just that, the majority of people have left.
Although we thought everything went as planned, the FOMC meeting couldn't have gone much better. 25 basis points reduction in interest rates for the federal funds rate, as Jerome Powell came up, gave his remarks, and talked about how Trump tariffs are basically the only thing that they're worried about for inflation. They still have that 2% goal to get the inflation down to. But again, now the federal funds rate is sitting at 3.5 to 3.75 percentage points. So with that being said, we were expecting...
That's good, but we got so many rate cuts, people are saying it's not doing anything.
We're expecting that in addition to them mentioning quantitative easing, they're going to be buying Treasury.
This is what's going to really, really change. If Treasury starts buying, they have the most money.
Treasury bills over at the Federal Reserve beginning December 12th for the next 30 days. So we're entering QE. The market reacted initially, where we saw Bitcoin go above $94,500. We saw Ethereum rally to 3,400. We even saw LUNC have a really nice intraday run up over, I think at peak, right around 67 Satoshis, we'll call it. But the weirdest thing that happened in intraday trading was this really big dip that went from, let's call it 6,500 Satoshis.
This could be an error though. Is this really a dip? Because I don't see it here. It must be an error. I think this was some sort of a graphic error or maybe an exchange error providing wrong data. I'm not too sure how that can happen. But guys, if you want to trade on 2bit, don't forget. If you want to get started trading XRP today, simply click the link in the description below, click register to participate, and sign up over here for a free bonus. Like the video and join me, link in the description. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's watch Luna Classic.
All the way down to 0.000. It added a 0.6. So basically, this weird pump and dump, and a lot of people are calling it maybe some kind of arbitrage bots that came in and bought a big amount of supply and sold a bunch of supply. We know that there's MEV bots that are also within the cryptocurrency
Like bots are making tons of bank, like big monies.
sphere, if you will, or the cryptoverse. But again, I'm not too worried about that one single candle because the recovery right after was literally within a split seconds. We saw the rally back to where we were, and the momentum continues to hold. Oftentimes when coins or stocks short squeeze into short term, we see them rally followed by significant dumps. But
seems like this rally tells you enough. This rally literally happened, what, on 6th of December, so I missed out on it. But it tells you that people are still talking about Terra Luna Classic. Like, it's not going anywhere. The community response I'm getting is absolutely fantastic. It tells you that people have not forgotten about it. And, you know, we're hearing more about the court updates. It makes a lot of people wonder where we go from here. So this is going to be the issue right now. Is Terra Luna Classic 127? It's not that far off from top 100 again. Again, one small rally like this, it could literally go back to December 2024 levels. But again, is the updates and the burns going to be enough? I think not. I think they need way more than these burns. 337 million market cap is good, but it's simply not enough. And, you know, people are calling for further downtrend and the community is divided.
we not only held up and are showing a new support line right around 49 to 5,000 Satoshis, 4,900 and 5,000. But we're looking at some pretty amazing price predictions that are coming in from the global market and analysts alike. So that's what we're going to be highlighting in today's video, is talk about LUNC, how high we can go. A lot of people also commented on my previous videos talking about how 1 cent is impossible, how $1 is impossible.
It is impossible. At least, like, if you want to be at 1 cent, you got to basically replace it with $1.
But they need to understand that
by the way, this red candle we have right here is people taking profit.
Happened to LUNC coin, right? This big dump from $119 at all-time high back in 2022, and then the depegging of USDT, or excuse me, UST, the US Terra stablecoin. When that occurred, the coin, a lot of coins and tokens went into circulation, meaning it became a very inflationary token, if you will, that caused not only the diluted FDV to increase, the total supply of the Luna tokens to significantly enter into circulation.
People want to see coin burns. There's trillions and trillions that people were minting. I'm not too sure because of this rare bug that happened. I'm not too sure if this can ever be resolved. Like, there's the trillions and trillions of this that can be minted.
And you can see the volume per market cap at 82.13% nowadays. Circulating supply, there's about $1 trillion that's out of circulation, but 5.5 trillion went into circulation. And that's what oftentimes happens during these collapses that makes it seem like an impossible task to go back to all-time high. Even if we go back to all-time high from a market cap perspective, that only puts us at maybe another 100x or so if we want to go back to $30 billion.
I mean, that would be amazing if we do a 100x to 30 billion. Means it would be big as XRP, but XRP literally has one of the biggest companies right now. Has 700 employees. It's building something. Like the developer team here at Terra Luna Classic is building, but it has way less funds. It's much smaller. It's like the same vibes I'm getting with SHIB. But there's going to be people who are always going to love it no matter what. Like, going to support it no matter what. And that's what I love to see in this space. This is why I started my YouTube channel. And that's what you see. Like, the embodiment of this is like some people will never give up on Luna Classic or bought it at a very cheap rate in August 23 and are now holding it, hoping it goes up. Some people are very mad and are holding it since 2022.
Valuation at 300-400x. But again, with that, we need to see 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 X's from here on out. But what people are misunderstanding is the fact that we could see burn mechanisms that reduce the circulating supply, create a deflationary token, and bring down the token supply like it once was. Instead of so much being in circulation, we're talking billions of coins, no longer into trillions and trillions of coins. So let's go ahead and talk about the price prediction that was posted on Binance Square, because I think it's pretty significant.
I want to see what happens with XRP next.
Brokerage. I personally use it for my XRP.
So yeah, it kind of makes sense. I did make a prediction on 2-bit. I also should open a trade here for XRP. Like I already was holding some XRP. Personally, I mean, at this price point, it's literally the price point of what it was at its lowest. No, actually, it's lowest it's ever been. It might have been too late. I could have bought it at 2.08. It's now like 0.4. I feel like some whales are going to dump it further until we reach like the low, new resistance low, because they are just selling it off. But after that, we should be bullish. So I would personally like at least go slightly higher. If it's anything's going to happen, it's not going to be this cycle. It's going to be next one.
22. Digital coin price, LUNC could rise a minimum to 56,000 Satoshis. But I think on the other hand, the forecast maximum is sitting at, yes, eating a zero, putting us at 13,700 Satoshis. Right now we're at 6,153 Satoshis. But I think, again, with all of these different price predictions that are coming out in the market and ones that are surfacing in today's different blog posts, different YouTube videos, you call it, you name it, the most important thing to make sure we understand is a lot of these numbers are looking directly and strictly at market cap. Where they're coming up with these values, 200-300% gains. Remember, when short squeezes occur, all of these numbers are going to be thrown in the garbage. It's going to surpass most investor expectations, as we're going to expect rallies to not only go into the double digits or the triple digits, we're talking 4-5 percentage digits up. So I'm talking 4,000, 5,000, 6,000% in the span of 3 days, 5 days. Compound that over time, especially during a bull market. LUNC can and has a very good setup that could send it significantly higher. And they're even putting out 2030 price predictions where it's...
I mean, this is going to be the thing. Why would people buy it for 20 to 30% price prediction up? So who knows? Like, you gotta ask yourself. If people buy this, what makes it go up? What makes the whales buy this on? So it could be the development. What makes them buy it instead of XRP? Let me know that in comments below.
It's going to be 3 zeros and a 3, but I think a penny is definitely on the table. I know they're not considering burn mechanisms, but I think it's one of those things that we should not overlook. In addition, over on Twitter, I
mean, they are considering burn mechanisms, pretty sure. Didn't they do like some burn mechanisms on exchanges as well? Binance is burning, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been some time ago.
Most interesting also is what's happening from a global macro structure. I think a lot of people are looking at it as this, and let's see what Tyler has to say. Another rejection off key liquidity while in a bear flag. Not loving the smell of this price action short to midterm. Would like to see something big to get us out of the mud.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. It's not looking good. Like, down from 17 cents. Can we even reach 17 cents again? Now, that's the question that a lot of people have. It's the $1 million question because nobody knows. But again, we saw this with a lot of projects like Haspa and other.
And I agree. I do agree that right now the market is showing a lot of bearish tones. But the government here in the United States is doing everything in their possible pockets and everything they possibly can to get us into this full-fledged bull market. And Trump said himself, the president of the United States, that the stock market should continue to go up. Jerome Powell says we will deliver 2% inflation, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And he said we will do everything that we need to make sure we get there. It is really just the tariffs that is causing most of the inflation overshoot.
This is the one thing that's really keeping like all of these coins together at this point. It's just a hope for another rally, but I wouldn't bet all my eggs in one basket.
Now, the Fed thinks job gains are overstated by 60,000 in recent months, so they're seeing a weakening labor market. And Jerome Powell also mentioned that interest rates will stay the same or be cut a little or cut a lot. I don't think a rate hike is anyone's base case. So,
I mean, the rate hikes, quantitative easing, treasuries, I mean, all of that could really change the price, but it's not. It's not, and it keeps me worried at this point. Where are we going from here? So it's gonna be a big question. It's gonna be a big question of what if and where to go. I'm hoping for more. Let's check it out.
Showing again that there is some form of confidence in addition.
There is like people talking about it, but again, a lot of people have left because of the promises of the big rally we were talking about. So it makes you wonder where to go from here. So it's hard for me to call it properly, because right now I'm not too sure on the whales. The whales have sold their Luna Classic, but I'll keep you guys updated with more. We can actually check. This is bad news for XRP. Look, I got multiple people agreeing with me here, and I told you guys this is what's going to happen.
Today, we had a nice local bottom, which was...
So yeah, this is why I opened a short on my account, guys, on 2bit. Smash that like button if you haven't already. But I have called that XRP, if it cannot sustain above $2, it's gonna get bad. And I still think so, not financial advice, but I still think that's gonna happen.
Was expected if you watched my video yesterday, but ultimately, I mean, how far did the bottom reach? Not that far. Bitcoin at the moment is also not looking amazing. We'll take a look at that, right? We'll take a look at the relative strength right now of XRP against Bitcoin. We'll take a look at all the relevant fundamentals for XRP and for Ripple as well. And then I'll try to prepare you as well as possible for everything that's going on with XRP. Now,
I'm going to go with perpetuals. I pretty much made the same graph, like going downhill. The perpetuals are the same. If you open like a $3 trade, it shows you exactly what it needs to show. It's not looking that well. It's not looking that great. Especially when you have something like this, you know, in the plan. It's a scary thought here.
First of all, I quickly wanted to set the record straight, okay? Because there have been some
That's
comments.
why I'm opening a short. I am opening a short over here because I personally think that, yeah, it's going to get nasty for XRP. So let us sell a short here. So we opened a short already, and you can see here, this is my live balance that I'm trading. If you guys want to join me, link in the description below, but let's check this video out.
Calling me out, right? Because what I told you on Sunday and last week is I think it's most likely that with the, you know, major support level being $2 and 1.98, I said, okay, I think it's most likely we can actually break that downtrend that we had, because there was a downtrend going on, as you can see on the 12-hour time frame as well right here. I think we can break that, and I think we can rally back up to 2.18 and 2.2. I was wrong about that. I agree, although I did tell you a couple of times that we were compressing against support, right? So that it was getting trickier in general for XRP to break out. But then all of a sudden comments are telling me that I'm always wrong about XRP. Well, and most of you know this, but if you watch my previous videos in November and December, like this dump, this rally right here, this rally right here.
This is what I told you guys. The whales are taking profit. You gotta realize the whales are simply like the candles you see. You cannot be against the candles. What the candles mean, guys, is that what we have is like a Christmas spirit. The whales want to take money. The whales need their Christmas gifts, and this is how they see it. They buy low and sell high. It's that simple.
Here, I predicted all of those, right? So yes, I was wrong about this technically, but ultimately my accuracy on XRP is still incredibly high, I would argue, and my win rate when it comes to trading XRP is also still very positive. But okay, just to set the record straight, okay? Sometimes it gets to me, okay? Because I put a lot of time in these analyses. And I think they're very solid analyses. And then when you're wrong once, that's normal. But don't nail the coffin based on one prediction. But okay, let's get to XRP. Too much rambling. I'm sorry. But right now, what you can see is that we still actually did get ETF inflows, which is quite strange. It's not major. I mean, definitely not if you compare to last week or 2 weeks ago.
So there is ETF inflows, but it just means that whales are buying right now. That's all it means. These ETF inflows, they are not like retail. They are people who have bought before, and if you literally check my trade, you can see here that the whales are selling XRP.
Ultimately, it's still $20 million, which does matter, but it seems to me, I mean, these ETF flows, they do matter. But it feels like most of these ETF purchases are coming from OTC, right? So what that means is that,
that's gonna affect
that seems
the
very
price,
likely that you know, Ripple itself probably still holds a lot of XRP, and it's much cheaper for these ETF issuers to buy the XRP OTC from Ripple, right, than to buy them from the open markets. So it's unlikely that we're going to see a massive shift in the price of XRP right now, just because the effect that the ETFs have on supply and demand,
that's probably saving them thousands of dollars anyway,
and are very much you know, suppressed, at least for now. Ultimately, it does have effects, but for now, not amazing. Now, the key zone that I also told you about yesterday for Ripple is $2, 1.98. Incredibly important support level on the higher time frames. We have the 200 EMA. Most importantly, we have the value area low, and it's a strong psychological level. As long as we are trading below that, I think you have to be relatively bearish. And then the price action definitely.
It could be the bear market start. It could be the bear market is just like a few days, few weeks. No, it's probably going to be a few months.
It also doesn't help if you look at the tape for Bitcoin.
You can even see that the whales are trying to hold it up, but it's not like a huge rally is happening.
That also doesn't help. We have some buys coming in for Bitcoin, but ultimately they're not really moving the price. And XRP is very correlated to Bitcoin, of course, right now for 87%, which is crazy. But and then we're leaving this liquidity grab here, this liquidity gap here to the upside. We fill half of that, then get a rejection already. So technically not great because we're trading below $2 and we're getting some rejections here on the lower time frames. Fundamentally, Ripple is not doing bad, I'd say. But unfortunately, fundamentals in crypto do not always translate to short-term bullish price action.
So it seems like, you know, because it's month December, we have learned that, you know, it does not automatically mean that we are going to have, you know, a massive bull run rally. You can't trust these whales.
So I have to say that I have to be relatively bearish on XRP here. The key support level we have close to us is right here at 1.84, 1.82. I think for now we can hold that. If we fail to hold that, which I'll keep you updated on, of course, in the next couple of days, next support level would probably be the area that we spiked down into during April, which was sitting right here at 1.75. So I'll keep you updated on that. Generally, what I would expect for XRP right here is that we are still forming some sort of...
I feel like we're trying to find a new low right now with XRP. That's the plan. Find a new low, then see where this new low is. Look, same with other altcoins. What's happening with Terra Luna Classic? Let's check this out. Terra Luna Classic. You know, I got a special heart here for Terra Luna Classic. My last prediction was saying that it's going downhill, but I was pleasantly surprised. You know, people are going to be taking profit. People were saying this is going to drop. Seems like what we're seeing